All right, people. So our first headline: Donald Trump has said that a U.S. blockade of Iranian ports, will begin today, Monday, 10 a.m. ET, right, which is GMT, 2 o'clock, so 2 in the afternoon. U.S. Central Command says that the blockade will not impede ships sailing through the Strait of Hormuz to or from other countries. Despite this, oil prices have jumped above $100 a barrel again. Weekend peace talks between the U.S. and Iran ended without a deal. Trump says that they failed because Iran wouldn't give up its nuclear ambitions, while Iran's foreign minister blames shifting goalposts for the US. In response to the blockade, Iran's parliament speaker says that the country will not surrender under threats. Next headline, and which is linked to that, but the UK is saying that they're not going to join Trump's blockade of Iran's ports in the Straits of Hormuz. British naval ships and soldiers will not be used to block Iranian ports, while UK minesweepers and anti-drone capabilities will continue operating in the region. So a spokesperson for the UK government said that we continue to support freedom of navigation and the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, which is urgently needed to support the global economy and the cost of living back home. The US announced a blockade, like I just mentioned, after talks with Iran failed to secure a lasting peace deal to end hostilities in the Middle East, as Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer urged de-escalation in the region. Next headline, and Sir Keir Starmer is planning a law which will mean that the UK government can adopt EU single market rules without a normal parliamentary vote. So the measure is part of a bill aiming to align the UK with new European regulations in areas such as food standards. A Labour source told the BBC that it will lower costs for businesses and get rid of the Brexit paperwork tax that adds to the cost of the weekly shop. The plans provoked strong opposition, of course, from the Tories and also from Reform UK. The EU single market is an agreement which enables goods, services and people to move freely between member states, with countries applying many common rules and standards. The UK and the EU are currently negotiating various deals, including one concerning food safety and standards for animal and plant health. Next headline, and deep fried food will be banned and high sugar items restricted in schools in England under new plans to overhaul school dinners.
Again.
But it's good, man. They need to get rid of this nonsense, man.
Yeah, but I thought it's already been overhauled, no?
Well,
Jamie flipping...
Oliver.
Yeah, Jamie Oliver. So I thought they kind of had long deviated anyway.
Well,
because I know my son can be complaining when he comes back home from school. The way he eats when he gets back home, you think they had started. Like, they didn't. Like, he's been suffering. He hates it.
Well, again, the Labour government, they're trying to do something, I guess. Under the government's proposals, fruit will replace sugar-laden treats for the majority of the school week, and schools will no longer be allowed to offer unhealthy grab-and-go options like sausage rolls and pizza every day. The Association of School and College Leaders said it supported improving the quality of school food, but said additional funding to pay for changes will be essential. The Lib Debs, they said funding for school meals needed to match rising costs, while Reform UK accused the government of trying to micromanage people's lives. The Green Party said that cutting unhealthy food from school menus was welcome and long overdue. And our next headline, Pope Leo, the 14th? He wants to turn the world's attention to Africa. This is according to
What?
the Pope.
Oh, the Pope.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Of course.
Well, this is according to a senior Vatican official as he embarks on a significant tour of the continent addressing themes of peace, migration, and dialogue between religions. The 11-day trip starts on Monday, today, and it's basically Pope Leo's second major foreign visit since being elected to the papacy in May last year, and is a reflection of Africa's increasing importance to Catholicism. More than a fifth of the world's Catholics are in Africa. Some 288 million people. This according to figures from 2024. It's one of the fastest growing regions for the church.
So they didn't want to talk to us before?
You know they don't care.
I mean, they wanted to talk to us when they was taking over in the ships, isn't it? They considered us then. But all of a sudden, now you want to revisit that, or what? Until you revisit that, I don't understand what we have to talk about, to be honest.
Well, this is how they operate, man. But yeah, the Vatican says its latest survey shows a remarkable increase in the number of baptized Catholics on the continent. Little wonder then that the trip is regarded as a personal priority for Pope Leo. So this wide-ranging tour will include 11 cities, right, in 4 different countries. So Algeria, Cameroon, Angola, and Equatorial Guinea. Let me not say. Algeria, Cameroon, Angola, and Equatorial Guinea. In all, the Pope will travel nearly 18,000 kilometers, clocking up most of the distance on 18 flights. And that's it for now. We'll get into some more headlines a bit later. Let's get into our topic of the day. All right, people. So as you guys know, I say it every single time because it's true. I never lie to you guys. We have the best guests on the show.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And today is no different. This is definitely going to be a conversation that I think is going to be doing the rounds.
Come on.
And for good reason, you understand? We're joined by a cultural commentator whose message around Black economic self-reliance, unity and buying within the community has resonated with a growing audience. She's been very vocal about the need for Black people to build, to support, and to protect their own, and to stop relying on systems that, in her view, of course, have consistently failed them. Alongside that message has come strong criticism, right? Mm-hmm. Our guest's views on race, power, and economic relationships, particularly her comments around other communities, right, have sparked intense debate. Some see her as someone who's speaking uncomfortable truths, and others see her as divisive and even harmful at times, right? And that's why conversation matters, guys. You know what I'm saying? Because she's here, she never backs down, you know what I'm saying, from a conversation, and she's here to speak candidly, you know what I'm saying? And today isn't necessarily about shutting anything down or that sort of stuff, but it's about unpacking it and having a real conversation amongst like-minded Black folk, you know what I'm saying? It's Black First here, you know what I'm saying? Just in case you didn't know, right? But again, today, the ideas, the tone, the impact, all of that sort of stuff we're going to be talking about today. Guys, please help me to welcome the legendary Elaine the Pain.
Who are ya?
Hi, beautiful people. I love this. It's black as black. I'm in here. I love it.
Again, thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, you know what? Let's jump straight into this.
Go on.
What's your biggest gripe?
I've got a few. My biggest gripe is us thinking that we have unity amongst other communities. And especially when it comes to the model minority, the buffer class, the South Asians, whatever you want to call it. That, for me, was extremely revealing. And, you know, when I was asking questions of that particular community, I got nothing but racism, a slew of racism, threats, everything under the sun. And I was like, okay. So I'm asking questions about, you know, what our communities do for one another in terms of business, not culturally or socially. In terms of business, and no one could really give me an answer. So that is my biggest gripe that I have. And I'm trying to show Black people that we can be self-sufficient and self-reliant if we close our doors.
So to some degree, would you say that, based on what you just said there, that your biggest gripe might be with us, with the Black community, and how we kind of perceive our power and our influence, and why we always tend to be like, oh yeah, you know what, let's be welcoming, let's be friendly with everybody else, rather than, I guess, how other people may see us? Or am I just putting words in your mouth?
No, it could be both.
Okay.
It can be both. I can absolutely hold Black people accountable because you've, you know, opened the door wide for these people to come into our culture, take and give nothing back. But also don't perceive it to be like, oh yeah, they're just doing their thing. No, because you know that you're oppressing Black people. You're coming into our culture. You're trying to still, you know what I'm saying, our flow, our food, whatever it is, and you're trying to profit off of us. So you too absolutely your feet can be held to the fire as well, because you're doing some of the oppression to Black people, and also we're letting it happen once again.
Yeah. You mentioned the whole thing about you know, exploiting Black people and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
What does the exploitation look like?
Okay, so for me, it looks like when we go to the shops, when they sell our food, right? So the plantain, the green bananas, the yam, all of these sorts of things, the seasonings, we see them open up their shops, especially mainly, you know, all over, right, in our communities, but particularly in Brixton. When, you know, the incident with Black Dread happened or whatever, where he was denied the barrel and whatever it is, that particular shop only served Caribbean people, right? And for the simple fact that he couldn't put a barrel, for us to help our community, because remember, we're community-based people, you know, right? And he denied that because he thought, oh yeah, they're just going to contribute money and put a little, and Black Dread was like, no. So you sell our food, even when it comes to, you know, you exploiting black women in terms of like the hair shops and all of those sorts of things. You don't employ us, you just sell to us, and you give zero back to the community. And I find that for me is what's annoying and angers me the most, is that you take so much from us and give nothing back.
But
Can I, sorry,
yeah, go on, Christy.
can I ask why should they?
Why should they what?
Why should they?
Why should they give something back?
Yeah.
Absolutely. White people give something back, right?
Do they?
Absolutely. We, at the end of the day, we know who the common enemy is, right? Never forget that. But at the same time, we have taught white people, well, if you're going to operate in our spaces, you need to do for black people. So there are some initiatives that white people do, like, oh, you know, we operate in your spaces and, you know, we're going to help the black youth to do X, Y, and Z, right? That's fine. And we can call white people out for that, right? And if a white person was to open a hair shop or an Afro-Caribbean shop with selling our food, there'll be pitchforks and torches, right? When you get to their door. But when it comes to the Asian man now, we're clapping for them. No. The same brush that I'm going to apply to white people, the same brush I'm going to apply to the Asians. We can't clap for the Asians and hold white people accountable because they're doing the same thing. Absolutely not. And that's what we need to wake up and realize. If you are operating, if you're going to take our culture, you're going to take our food and profit off of it, absolutely give something back, because we've opened the door for you to take black people's money. So absolutely you should give something back. Train up our young people, employ us, right? Use conferences and initiatives of, okay, cool, how can we teach black people to open up their own stores and the supply chains and all of those sorts of things, right? There's no initiative like that.
Yeah, but then I don't circle back. Why should they? If I'm a community, and obviously because they're not all the same, they Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, all of that, and they also have they're not all unified.
Okay.
We put them under the same umbrella, but they actually aren't unified. But if they're a community based, they look out for their own. So if they're setting things up and they're just employing them, why would I expect them to employ me? Or why would I want to go there and get employment from them?
Because you're taking from our culture. I'll give you an example. Africana, right, is owned by South Asians, okay? And their stores are popping up all over the place. And they sell jollof rice, the jerk chicken, the plantain, all of those sorts of things, right? And you know that your audience is going to be predominantly black because you sell our food and you're marketing to black people, right? So you are exploiting our culture, our food, our music, all of those sorts of things to draw a black crowd, right? If I expect a Caribbean shop or whatever it is, if I expect black people to be in that shop because you come from our culture, it's exactly the same thing. Why am I giving my money to you and you're not even employing us, or you're not even giving anything back? They absolutely should.
Question. I like this so far. Because I think I can see from both sides of the aisle. There's another community who has exploited us for centuries. But they give back. Would you prefer the South Asians do the same? Would that still placate you enough not to encourage us to build our own stuff and for us to now patronize our own services?
Yeah. I don't care if they give back, because what I'm trying to do with my people is I'm trying to combat the indoctrination and combat the programming, because we always fall back on other communities. So whether or not the South Asians turn around and say, you know what, Elaine, okay, cool, we're willing to work with you, we're willing to employ, it's too late for that. I don't care. Right now, it's about Black people and how we can strategize our community, build our community, organize our community, also in terms of our finances, right? Because when you look at other communities, the Jewish community, the South Asians, the Turkish community, they have a system where they literally, all of their money goes back into their community, right? And at the same time, when we look at our finances, where do we have a centralized system where all of our money goes back into our community? There's not. Even in just Black Britain alone, there is not. And for me, that's a problem. And I'm going to hold Black people accountable in saying, absolutely, we should find ways and kind of strategize how we're going to do that. It's not going to be over a couple months, 2 years. This is a 10-year, 20-year ordeal, right? But I'm trying to wake Black people up in saying it's time for change now, and it's time for us to be selfish. It's not really, if you really want to put it like, it's not really about the other communities. It's about Black people and how we can move forward and make change for our children and our grandchildren, because I won't see the changes in my lifetime. Right? But I hope that the legacy that I leave, it will be for my children and my grandchildren.
You see, I think most of what you're saying, I fully agree with it. I guess the only parts I don't fully agree with is kind of what I think Chrissy touched on, in that I don't think any community owes us anything, right? And as much as people claim to be allies of the Black community, I don't buy it. That sort of thing, innit?
Not a damn bit.
I don't even believe in that sort of thing. Until, I guess, maybe I see something so drastic where it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, this person's an ally, this, that, and the third. And even if the person's an ally, I really do believe that we have to operate like we have none. You know what I'm saying? Because time and time again, we maneuver in this place, in this world that we call, life or whatever, and we're disappointed.
Yeah.
And it's just a natural process of things, right? But also, to go back to what you were saying about Asian community, the Africana thing.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this the first time I went to Africana.
Yeah, you went in and you were surprised as to...
I was baffled.
Yeah.
I was baffled. Because I thought, Africana, it's us.
Right.
I really did.
I can't lie. I saw that name, and I thought, to be honest, I actually thought it was white South African, because I saw the Gaelic. I just thought, what is this? What we? So I immediately was like, I don't need to be there.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, what Black person is calling it African in that and spelling it in that way? To me, it gave very cheap and very performative, very like, what's the word? Like a gimmick.
Yeah.
That's what it gave, calling it that.
Yeah.
So immediately I was just like, okay. And then when it started popping up, because the first one I saw was in Dalston.
Okay.
Dalston, Kingsland High Road. And then people was just like, I was hearing, like, there was like, they went, I knew someone that went there, and it was like, they showed like an Asian staff member. And I just thought, okay. I was like, okay, I'm not surprised. There's not even, even just calling it that, but I feel like that's more for us, because we see something that says Africana, and again, not spelled in any kind of way that would remotely link it to Africa, you want to go in there. I feel like it's more for us. We like to do them foolishness.
Yeah.
So anything that is labelled that, I believe it. Again, unfortunately, I feel like we give things away cheaply. So we'll shake our bum and go there.
Yeah, 100%. But I guess the only issue I have with that whole thing is just when you mention the thing about it being exploitation. So I'm saying that, they do this and and exploiting us.
Yeah.
To me, that doesn't equal exploitation. You know what I'm saying? Because we could easily open up a Mumbai Delights or something, yeah, and no Asian person is going to come to our store.
Well, but we are the only race that don't exploit any other culture.
But why you calling it exploitation? What part of it is exploitation?
It's exploiting because you have studied us and you are using our culture. Mind you, knowing the history that we have from exploitation, because white people done it to us for so long, you are now upholding those values and thinking, oh yeah, this is how we're going to make money off of the black community and all of those sorts of things, right? But stick a pin, if you say that no other minorities owe us anything, doesn't that pertain to white people as well?
No, because white people are not minorities. But
no, I'm saying wait. So, or if you're saying nobody owes us anything, so doesn't that pertain to white people as well?
It's not necessarily a case of no one owing us in the sense of like just across the board in the generic sense of owing, right? It's more so me saying we can't live life believing they owe us, and we should basically queue up and try and get that. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, if we don't have economic self-reliance, and this is where I fully agree with you, if we don't have economic self-reliance and understand that we are our own saviors, then we're constantly going to be disappointed. That's my view, innit? I come from more so the school of thought of Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, that sort of thing, where it's like we have the potential to do it ourselves. We don't need to be going over there doing all this stuff. So the placards ain't going to do nothing. You see what I'm saying? All of that stuff. And so I hear what you're saying, but it's just more so, I think, when it comes to the business thing, I think there's a thin line between, okay, this is just good business, or this is how people conduct themselves in the business world, and exploitation. And I think that's what maybe is some people are seeing as a disconnect, because we can do the same thing. And I don't think it will be exploitation. It will be us seeing a gap in the market. Because the reality is, why do we have to get our plantain and our yam and all that from them? It's not necessarily us allowing it. We just haven't done it. Because we need it.
The reason why I disagree with you so much is because I've spoken to business owners, especially black hair business owners, where they have said the South Asian also, when they want to open up their own hair shops as well, the South Asians make it their priority to slow suppliers down and all of those sorts of things, right? If a black person wants to open a hair shop, right? Who are the suppliers that they go to? More enough it's the South Asians, because they've built the systems and all of those sorts of things, right? My sister owned a hair shop and whatever it is. I remember she wanted like a particular extension or whatever, right? And she couldn't get it from the brand, the Dark and Lovely brand or whatever. So she went to Pax, who also sell in bulk and whatever it is, and they up the price per thing. What do you call it? You know, like when you buy in bulk or whatever it is, but they up the price by like £4 because that black particular business was so desperate, right? And this is the thing, that is what I call exploitation. If you're going to do business and you give, you know, your South Asians the best rate, you also have to give the black business owner the best rate as well. But I've spoken to black business owners where they're like, no, Elaine, they have tried to take us down. They have tried to take me out. They say, oh, you know, the shipment hasn't come, or they've slowed it down, which affects the business. So when, we can say, oh, no, well, it's not no, it's deeper than that, because they have monopolized that industry. So therefore they run things in that industry. So when we're talking about, oh, yeah, we can just do it ourselves, we have many times. And for the simple fact that we get shut down, we get shut out, we don't get business loans and all of those sorts of things, because we don't have strong financial ties or links to certain institutions or whatever. So we need to think about it on a broader scale rather than just, oh, we can just do it. Well, no, we can't.
No, I agree to that sentiment, and again, I would still put the onus on us, because how you're talking, that affects a black business. So you would understand why the price point would be high. But what do we do? I'm not going there. Oh, it's £2 at the Asian man shop. Oh, yeah, and they'll have an attitude and happily go there and happily promote. Nah, what are you doing? I'm going over here, not knowing. Oh, it's a business thing. It's not a immediate, like, oh, this is the price point I want to buy at. And I feel like our people don't consider that. Whereas me now, maybe because my parents have been in business for so long, so maybe I see the background thing, so maybe I consider that more, and I'm more aware of the costs that go into certain things. Because back in like 1993, No, 1990, yes, 1992, 93, my parents opened up a shop in London Bridge. They were the only black shop, a black owner's shop. It was just a normal shop or whatever kind of thing. And the hate they got was mad. Like, the hate they got was completely mad. Like, because that area was completely white or whatever. And then, obviously, but they still persevered, they didn't care. People coming in to try and steal, white people coming to try and steal, they still stood their ground or whatever. The revenue that they got from that, they now decided they wanted to open up a restaurant. But they didn't open up you would think, typically, it would have been a Nigerian takeaway shop. No. Because at that time, no offence, we were not going out in the rate that we were going buying takeaways. That wasn't our thing. The attitude back then was there's rice at home. There's rice at home. So it would be pointless for them. So what they did was open up an Italian restaurant.
Okay.
Because in their mind, everybody goes out to Italian restaurants. They were seeing Italian restaurants all over the place. And also that was actually one of my mum's favourite cuisines at the time also as well. So they opened up an Italian restaurant. I mean, they weren't really front facing, to be fair.
The Italians were.
They hired whatever. But yeah, but again, that wasn't their thinking. And so to them, they cornered the market of everybody locally came to eat there. But that's because they weren't thinking, I'm just going to open up a typical African shop. But that's because they also know the mentality of their people, because they know the people ain't gonna at that time they weren't gonna come there. They weren't gonna patronize them.
Who was front of house?
Who was front of house at the time? It was who did they?
Come on.
Who was that front? It wasn't a black person at front house.
Evidently,
it wasn't a black person front of house at the time. I can't remember.
I remember.
I think
it was actually a white person.
I think just to your point in that, right?
Get back to that.
Where we we don't patronize black businesses enough, right? And throughout my journey, I've learned that I have to be very patient and mindful that I now need to educate my people as to why we need to go and patronize those black communities, because we are indoctrinated and we have been programmed. So for you to expect them to just go out and be like, hey guys, I'm saying it's not going to happen. And we really need to understand the psychology behind that, and we need to unpick that. So that comes from education, that comes from, this is why you have to pay £4 for Aki and not £2.69 at Mr. Patel's thing. You know what I'm saying? And as long as black people will get that, black people love patronising and spending their money with their own people. It gives us a sense of pride. It makes us feel like we're doing more for the community. So really, I don't like it when sometimes we underestimate our community to be like, oh, well, that's not what they're going to do. No, because we need to give them the confidence and the ability to know that, okay, cool, I'm willing to be uncomfortable and I'm willing to spend more, because in the end, it's going to benefit us. So I really feel like that's where we need to.
Yeah, but are we willing to be uncomfortable? I don't know. That's my problem. I feel like we're more comfortable in convenience than inconvenience.
Isn't that everyone though, to some degree?
No, don't get me wrong. Me, in my friendship group, I'm a pay for convenience girl. I don't want to be inconvenienced. However, the paying for convenience also means I'm still gonna try to go to where my people are at. I'm not just like, I'm not gonna take that's just the first thing I'm going to kind of thing. I'm cognizant that, okay, I'm not going there. If I'm paying for convenience, convenience to me is, okay, let's say I'm paying to getting something done in my house or something or whatever, and I don't want to do it myself. But immediately, I'm not just going to I'll try and look for, okay, I know my so-and-so does this. Let me bring them in to do it, instead of looking outside. You get what I'm saying? But I feel like that's not our first thought, is whether anybody can do it at whatever price. And I get it, cost of living and all them kind of things there. A lot of things are at play. But I feel like if we're going to get somewhere, we need to get into the habit of thinking, no, let me walk past that shop. I don't need to go. Don't need to go there. Because what they do, they've made it so we're so reliant, because now they're everywhere. So every 3 corner shops every 3 hair shops.
That's
every
what I
4
was
hair
saying.
shops. They've made it so the convenience, they have. So I believe they've done a good strategy, to be honest. But it's for us now, we need to wake ourselves up and understand that. And again, like Elaine said, it's not going to take, it's not an overnight thing. As you said, as they said, they've monopolized. I've heard them stories, how they've priced a lot of hair shops out because of the way they hold the monopoly on wholesales. And that's not wholesales in just hair, that's wholesales in food
of course.
as well. But again, we are also thinking on, we only think of at a consumerist level. We're not thinking about the production or distribution side of things.
But we don't have power. We don't have any political power, any financial power in this country, right? So for you to expect black people to be like, oh yeah, because we have, no, the only power that we have is consumer power. And we can effectively affect different industries and markets if we say, well, no, we're not shopping there because we're going to put all our money into there. Well, no, we're not going to do that. This is why they'll do discounts and this is that the kings and queens Peckham, you know what I'm saying? Big up to all my Peckham people out there where they shut that down, you know what I'm saying? Shut down the shop one time.
It was a hollow victory though.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. This is the thing.
No, it was a hollow victory.
Why is it?
To me?
Why?
Because less than 2 minutes down the road, they abandoned that particular one. But best believe they went next door though.
No.
And who owns next door? The same people.
No. But this is the thing, though. When something happened to someone, especially a black woman in our community, we done something about it, right? And we need to take victory in that they might be baby steps, but at least they are steps. Do you understand? And I don't want to undermine all the work that we've done, all the protesting that we've done, all the people that we've spoken to, right? About how we are respected as the black community in this society. We absolutely have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But I still feel like, you know what? We did our thing and we can take that and we can put our energy into something else. That's exactly how I feel.
Question. And Black Rob, please find yourself in the Discord. I don't like how easy you're talking on my lovely Elaine's name. I don't like that at all.
What
Find yourself in the Discord, please. Elaine he says Elaine has no strategy. All she wants is anarchy. Find yourself in the Discord, please. Thank you very much.
You know what it is? Actually, I want to touch on that because it's a great point, right? And in the black community, we always look to one particular person to have all the answers, one particular person to have the strategy, one particular person to tell us what to do. And I've always said this, if you look at my content and what I put out, I want us to do this together. I cannot do it by myself. So all you people who have some sort of strategy, go on and go do it now. Go on out there and mobilize your people. I can't reach people in Manchester and all of those sorts of things. I can't physically be there. So someone has to represent us over there in Liverpool, in Birmingham. London's our HQ, right? So we need to have an organization because I can't do everything by myself. And stop putting that on me. If you want the black community to move forward, because I'm really passionate about this, right? You can hear it in my voice. If you want the black community to move forward, you also need to put in the work. I have a lot of DMs from black people. Oh, Elaine, where's the black hair shop? Oh, Elaine, where's the black butchers that I can go to? I don't know. I don't live in Uxbridge. I can't tell you where the black meat shop is there. Sorry, but you have to also do the work, do the research, right? Because you put too much pressure on me to do everything. I don't have all the answers. I'm just dropping ideas in your head to be like, we can do this, right? So come to me with something as well. Why must I always come to you?
Yeah. I hear it.
Black Rob, I'm still waiting for you. Question, Emmanuel. Do you think that the monopolization that goes on in that particular space or industry as it pertains to hair care and beauty products and whatnot, it's driven by racial intentions or, as you suggested earlier, it's just business?
I think it's tough. It's tough because I do think it is a bit of both in it. But I think, like I always say on the show, economics is life and life is economics, right? And I think if there was nothing to gain, if there was no self-interest, people won't do certain things. So the Asian community, yes, they've caught in the market when it comes to all those hair care products and food and things of that nature. But I think they also do think like a group. In the same way Elaine's saying we need to think like a group. They think like a group. They 100% do. You know what I'm saying? They're not all the same. Bangladeshis may have issues with Pakistanis and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Fine. But as a group and how they operate, to some degree, there's more cohesion there. And so I 100% can believe and know, it's not even a belief now, we know this is the case, right? That they may give favorable prices to someone in their own community over somebody in the black community. It's just how people operate. You know what I'm saying? But the question would be, why is that? Is it a race thing? I mean, almost by definition, I guess it is, isn't it? Because you want it to be amongst your own community,
Yes.
isn't it? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let me change the question because I can see how you can point to it just being race related, but I'm more asking, is there nefarious attachment to that?
Okay.
There definitely is. There definitely is.
Why you say that?
I think because at the crux of it, they believe they're better than us.
Bingo.
At the crux of it, they 100% believe when it comes to the hierarchy, we are at the bottom, and they believe that to be true. Just based off even colorism alone. That happens. Their caste system alone. White supremacy shows up in them high rates. You get what I'm saying?
But that same caste system is something that is prevalent within their own community. So they could say, yeah, we have colorism amongst ourselves. So it's not a black thing. It's just a
no. But
dark
that's what I'm
thing.
saying. But the black thing is associated with Africa as those people over there. They're not us. They're not us. They are subjugated to. They are beneath us. Anti-blackness is global. We know this. So to them, it's just like business can run, and if we can make a profit out of them, 100% we will do so because we believe it. They believe, like, why shouldn't we?
Black Rob is in the chat. No, he's on Discord. Yeah. Good morning, Black Rob. I want you to state the position because you had suggested earlier it was more business than anything else, right? Sorry, Black Rob. Hold up, please. 1 second.
It's not necessarily that I'm saying it's business across the board. I'm aware that for many communities, it's they'll prioritize their own thing.
Pause. I've got it, and I'm going to lose it.
Go on.
Vindaloo.
Yes. Yeah.
Does they do it to the whites as well?
Was it what, sorry?
Do they do it to the whites as well? Would you consider them doing it to the whites, Christy?
Doing it to what? No. They want the whites' approval.
Doing what to the whites?
So the same thing that Christy is saying, that they're seeing them us as inferior. Hence them looking to monopolize this particular space and sell us all this stuff, right? Don't they do the same with the whites? If you're using that same business example,
White people don't have
I'm asking you
on them. Oh, sorry, go on.
Damn it!
Sorry.
Too late. Never mind, Christy. Good morning, Black Rob.
Morning.
All right. You had all of the typing fingers in the chat, my lovely Elaine. So please speak to her now. Say what you want to say to her so she can respond to you.
Hello, Elaine. How you doing?
Hello.
I know that I think at the top of the show, the question was asked about why should they, in terms of you're saying that they need to communities that are profiting off of us, and like for example the Asian community with the hair shops, they should give back in some way because they're profiting off of us. And you used the word exploitation. Do you think that Chrissy's parents' business should have been given back to the Italian community because of their success in that in that market?
I wasn't aware that black people were doing that. And if there's a culture of black people taking Italian culture and profiting from it, absolutely, they should give back. So if the South Asians have a culture of taking the black, restaurants and hair shops and food shops and all of those sorts of things and are profiting off of a certain community, absolutely they should give back. I'm not saying that that's the solution. I've never said we need jobs and all of these sorts of things, right? I've never said that, because it's always been we need to be self-sufficient. But I'm just giving you examples of, if you want to work with the South Asians, then you need to demand them to give back. I don't care. But it's some black people are fighting for unity, which has not got us anywhere so far, right? But since you want to fight for unity, then ask the Asians to give that to you. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So in the kind of strategy that you've said, where we need to demand them to give back, a lot of these things are typically around like, how do you enforce? You can't enforce it, let's say. So you ask them, they say no. What's the next step?
What's the next step? They've already said, they've been saying no. Where you been? Like, they haven't given back. So all I've tried to do is I've tried to say the quiet stuff out loud, right? I've asked the Asian community about their business practices and how they, do business with black people. No one can't name me one big merger where, it's been beneficial for black people and Asians have welcomed us into business and making money and teaching us certain things, right? No one can tell me, and please don't bring up the Krypton Conan thing of 2% of the safe way. Come at my face with all of that. Come at my face with all of that, right? But no one can really name a business merger or anything pertaining to South Asians saying, come black people. We've also been oppressed, but we're going to show you how it's done, because we know we have the common enemy, which is what? The YT man, right? So please.
so if history is the best predictor of future behavior, then shouldn't we just, as you kind of said in some of the discussion, should we just prioritize our own economic empowerment as opposed to, these other communities are basically, they have a good business model of extracting capital from us, that should be we should be looking inwards and like, look at what the new black is doing. They're not talking about it.
She doesn't know yet. Don't worry, I'll talk to her afterwards.
Huh?
She doesn't know yet. I'll talk to her afterwards.
Okay, yeah. But either way, so it's like, I was just using you guys as an example of just being about it rather than going, LBC, let us in. Do you know what I mean? Or Choice FM, why'd you sell to Capital? Like, no, let's create something and everyone be a part of it. I think that's the strategy, because I think it's wasted energy directing efforts in the community, where, as you've just said, they're for self. They're doing what we're basically saying we should be doing. So why are we slighting for them for doing something? They're just doing it well and we're not. So let's just focus on ourselves. That's how I see it.
Okay, people are clearly getting me mixed up with my message. I have never said that they should be doing for us. I've actually said we need to boycott, right, their shops and businesses and all of those sorts of things. Because if we want to drive money into our own community, we need to start going to the shops that are in our own community. That is what I've said. In November, I said that when I had an onslaught of racist hatred, right, coming from the South Asians. This runs deeper with me, you understand?
And that was very telling.
Exactly.
That was very telling, that they had to pipe up when we're saying we're going to hold back our money from going to you.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Why?
But this is why I talk about strategy, no strategy, but anarchy, in the sense that I actually had no problem with what you want to do. It was the channels in which you communicate that message is what caused the problem. If we had back channels to make these things happen, where we didn't have to go on social media and everyone's it's like revealing your 10-step revealing your plans to the masses before you even gone to your own people to say, okay, this is what we're doing, guys. Hold the line. Do you know what I mean?
It's
everyone.
You're talking to me like we have those channels, like we have those systems, like we have those institutions. We do not. The only thing that I have at my arsenal is my social media. And because I have a predominantly black audience, I'm absolutely going to talk on that, because that is where my message resides. And if you're telling me that, you did it the wrong way, that is subjective, because you're trying to place on me that I should take into consideration other minorities' feelings. feelings. I don't give a damn. Yeah, about other Hold on. Let me finish. I don't give a damn about other minorities' feelings because they haven't given a damn about ours, right? And there's been many stories, right? Even with what I spoke about recently about the Windrush scheme and all of those sorts of things, and the other minorities trying to claim money under that. You understand? It runs deeper, and it really does frustrate me when people don't actually have the historical context of how this has all gone down. You know that how South Asians immigrated over here, right? If you know the context, absolutely, you need to pepper that in, you know what I'm saying, to make your point. But when you're talking to me about, oh yeah, we shouldn't be watching them and we should do this and we should do that. Okay, that's great. But do you know that 27,000 South Asians from Uganda and Kenya came over here, right? A couple of years after we were invited over here, yeah? And they didn't come with, you know, like the hardships that we had. No, because the British educated them and put them in society of Uganda and Kenya where they were the middle class, right? And they were running things in that country. And when certain presidents and dictators and all of those sorts of things saw that, they made it abundantly clear that that's not what's going to happen. And they had British citizenship, right? And the Brits were like, you know what, come over here. But they were running shops and all of those sorts of things back over there, right? So they could come here and do the same thing. And this is why white people are mad now, because they monopolized the whole thing, right? And white people are like, well, hold on a minute. You know what I'm saying? How did this happen? Because you guys are also slow. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it a buck. So please use historical context when you're coming to me about other minorities and you're you know, oh, it's not their fault. No, it absolutely is, because they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't mind you disagreeing with me, but you're disagreeing with the position I didn't present. I didn't say that you need to change the strategy because to placate other people's feelings. That's not what I was saying. I was saying change strategy because when you give the full plan to everyone, there's the ops listening in. Like, okay, so this is what they're going to do. This is what they're going to do. This is what do you know what I'm saying? That's what I was saying. So it's not about placating other people's feelings.
What's my full plan?
You don't know what I'm saying.
But she did ask a question.
You're saying that I'm giving the full plan, so what's my full plan?
Well, I'm saying that you've shared that. Oh, let's all boycott this. Let's all do that. That's what I've got so far. I'm saying you've given enough that they know what you're trying to do.
So what?
Yeah, but if they know that we're boycotting, so yeah, I don't understand. If it's knowing that we're gonna boycott them, and what? We should stop. We should do it. Personally, we should.
Do you think we should do it, Black Rob?
Because how can they stop us?
Sorry, Black Rob, what was that?
Yeah. I'm saying if we want to do it, let's not blast it out to socials to everyone, and let's just do it without it being known to people. Do you know what it is? There's other communities that will shut down someone, and then they'll act like they never did it, and they'll just gaslight the world for time. Shut down some of my favorite artists, some of my favorite Eskimo dancers, and all that. And then when you ask them about it, they'll be like, "No, we didn't do that."
All right. So
well,
you agree with Elaine's suggestion to boycott them? That's what you just said, right? And then you said we need to keep it as pim as possible. How is that productive? Shouldn't we get as many people hearing this particular message to boycott as possible?
I'm talking about strategy. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about the way you do it. I'm not talking about
how would you do it? How would you do it?
I'm saying go to the me. This is above me, innit? But I'm saying I ain't got the source.
It's above me.
It's above you.
To the standard.
Yo.
I can't win. I can't win.
Oh, yo.
I can't win.
Yo.
I'm sorry, but
let's go back to the Italian restaurant competition.
You're laughing, but I'm right.
No, but I'm sorry, but do the Jewish community do that silently? They do it with force. They don't do it silently.
He's a social commentator. He's not actually a political person. He's a social commentator. He can do what he wants. No one's on his case. You know what I'm saying?
Who?
Drewski. You're talking about Drewski, right?
Huh?
Drewski. No.
No, I said the Jewish community. They don't do it in silence.
I said Drewski.
No, they don't do it in silence. They make it very clear. And they make it so clear that they want us to beg, and they will go through the points of which you should do and make it up to us if they feel aggrieved. They make it very loud and plain.
Reparations and everything.
They make it very loud and plain. They're not just doing it. They're not just doing it silent. Yes, we get.
And then they'll be.
Sorry, no, Black Rock. We get that they're doing stuff in the back in the back rooms. We get that, but they're also out loud and proud by saying we will 100% remove them, remove whoever who is in opposition to what or we either feel aggrieved or we feel offended. They are very loud about that.
By the time they've spoken about it, by the time they've spoken about it, the player was already done like 2 weeks ago. They're just telling you that they've done it already. But when they're speaking about it, it's already been done.
Okay, but are we at that level to do? Are we at that level? So if we're now being loud about the boycott, I believe it puts those people on notice.
Right.
It puts them on notice.
Right.
And get a rude awakening. Yes, well, no, we're not coming to you. And why should you feel away if we're not coming to you? Because if you're doing good business and stuff, then it shouldn't matter if we're not coming to you.
Right.
There's other people, no? But you've made that the fact that you've cornered the market on that us specifically, you now rely on our consumerism. So now that we stop consuming you, now what?
Okay, I guess so. I think there's better ways to do it. We're not actually disagreeing. I'm just saying that there's better ways to get it done, but each to his own.
You haven't provided any.
At all.
You're right. Oh, no, I'm still waiting.
Thank you very much, Black Rob. If it is that you want to stay and contribute, you can. Let's push on. I need to get you some water. Girl. I'm even.
Yeah, same.
I'm out dry over here.
I wanted us to talk about what do you call it? Being Black British. Remember we mentioned it earlier. Bless you. That's right.
Yes.
And I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago. We were speaking about what it means to be Black British. What's the definition of Black British?
My definition of being Black British is knowing the contribution that we've made to this country. Also knowing that you come from a certain ethnicity, but you still have British values, right?
Okay.
And they can coincide. But also being in a country where you've moved culture massively, and being proud that you've moved culture forward massively to the point where the next generations are taking on certain languages and certain words and fashion and music, and also bringing everyone in. I feel like Black British culture in this society has absolutely unified so many people from different countries, as well as pushing them apart. But I like that we also have different identities and different ethnicities, and we share that in the community, especially with our white counterparts as well. They love. It's like some of them, what I'm saying? They love us, and they appreciate that, and they always, when I hear some Black people say, white people they support my business and they love what we're doing and stuff like that. Don't ever get it twisted. There are some, cool white people where, thank you. There are some cool white people where if they love what you do, they will ride for you. You know what I'm saying? They will absolutely ride for you. They still have racial bias. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of our identity, it's more of recognizing who we are as a culture and also having those British values.
Do you feel like that's somewhat some of the issues with our cohesion, because we come from so many different Black countries? So it's we're now in a foreign land and we're all trying to mix, but all of us are raised differently in our homes. And so there's always going to be butting our heads. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's the reason why we're not as effective as, let's just say, the Asian community or I don't know, some other communities. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them are more I don't know, look at the Asians. Obviously, I'm definitely generalizing here. No disrespect. But there might be 5 different countries, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
With us, it's how many? 50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's easier for them to band together than it is us. Do you feel like that's an issue, though? Yeah, it's a beautiful thing that we can call ourselves one Black British community, but that's also, I don't know.
I feel like we should have more unity, because for those of us that have migrated here, for those of us that are born here, we go through the same sort of what do you call it, issues that we face, whether it's housing discrimination, whether it's racism, whether it's police brutality or stop and search and whatever it is. You are black, you have faced those issues. So at the end of the day, if we're talking about what's going on in our community, especially with our young people, it shouldn't matter what country you're coming from, because we are in the society together and we are facing the same issues. So really and truly, I don't understand why we're not as cohesive as we could be.
But do you think, I feel like they don't care that they put under that banner.
Who? Asians?
Yeah. I don't think they care, because underneath that, again, the train is still moving. So why should they care that they've been put under that banner? Because their mindset is still, okay, I'm still putting my own, whether it's my own is just Pakistani or just Indian. So if now the higher ups are referring to grouping them together, they don't care, because they're still benefiting. So why should it really matter if we are doing the work if we're doing our work ourselves? Why should it matter if we're underneath that banner or not?
So are you basically saying that for us, even if we chose to just patronize or care about our own individual ethnicities, as long as it's our ethnicities, ultimately, as a big, large black community, we'll all benefit anyway?
Again, that's like, obviously, I'm not going to just concentrate, because I'll go to the Caribbean. That's one of my top cuisines, apart from Nigerian. So it still benefits me, because they are black. Obviously, I see it different. Obviously, they're black, so I'm still gonna patronize. But if certain people are if it's just you're not just going to the Nigerian shop and it's auntie, you just go patronize auntie. Because when they do the stats now, when they call us under the Black British banner, what does it matter?
Sure. Okay, I want us to get back to the Black British thing, yeah? In terms of the definition of Black British, who do you say is Black British? You don't even have to talk about who's not, but who do you say is Black British? Like, can you be mixed and Black British to you?
Mixed with what?
As in, so maybe half black, half white. Half black, half...
The definition for me is that if you are born into the black community and you were born, in Britain, you are Black British.
Okay.
That's my personal definition. If you've migrated over here, I don't regard you as Black British. You're like Jamaican or Caribbean or Nigerian or whatever it is, like with our parents, right? My dad has been here for how many years, but he would not call himself Black British. He would call himself Jamaican because he was born in Jamaica. But my mum was born here and I was born here, so I would regard my mum as Black British because she has certain British values, and in terms of who she interacts with and all of those sorts of things. That's what I would define as Black British.
So you don't see it as necessarily an ethnicity thing as well? No,
I don't see it as an ethnicity thing, because if you want to be technical, like, we are all under... me and you can't tell. You have to ask. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like it's... in our community, I feel like it's divisive when you get into those sorts of things, because we all have the same goal here, which is to function and love on each other and be okay. Like, I want to, be involved in the Congolese culture and go to the weddings and, all of those sorts of things. And I'm proud that you're sharing your culture with me, right? Because I feel like we have won the lottery in terms of being Black British, because we interact so much with different communities, right? Whereas if we compare it to the Black Americans, they're not really exposed to certain communities as much, so they wouldn't know about certain Black cultures and also, the history behind that. I feel like we're very lucky in those terms. So I would say defining who is Black British is if you were born here and you are part of the Black community, you are Black British.
Are you Jamaican?
It's a tough one, isn't it? No, I would say no. I'd say if I'm going by what I've said, I am Black British.
You could expand it,
What do you mean?
You can change your mind.
No, I don't want to. This is the thing. Like, we have to separate. So my ethnicity is Jamaican. My nationality is Black British, but my race is Black, right? And we can absolutely, define those things. And I'm proud because, growing up listening to Kylie Minogue and Liberty X and pop culture and all of those sorts of things, no one understands the pop culture references of Freddo and, hula hoops or Jaffa Cake biscuits and Half Moon and Total Eclipse and all of those sorts of things. But that is what our culture is, right? If you go to Jamaica and you're like, oh yeah, you know about Jaffa, what Jaffa Cake and all of these sorts of things, me no yam that, right? But if you're talking to a Black British person, they would absolutely understand the reference. So that's what I would define it as.
I love that. But I understand all those references. I came in when I was 6. Yeah. Manuel, are you Nigerian? You think about it.
Yeah, because like I always say, context is key.
Sorry. You're Yoruba.
Just 100%.
All right. Are you Yoruba?
To the core.
Okay.
100%.
You weren't born there?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
But that's my DNA, though. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing but Yoruba DNA in there. You know what I'm saying? That's why I am, first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? But context is key. So in another part of the world, that doesn't matter as much. You're just Black. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Here, we're just Black British. You know what I'm saying? So all of that, we have to be able to understand those differences and operate.
So you can be Yoruba. You can also be Nigerian. You could also be Black. You can be African. And you can be Black British. And you can hold all of that confidently and proudly. Okay.
Yeah. I guess you just draw for different ones depending on where you are and depending on the conversation that you're talking. You know what I'm saying?
How come you don't have a Black British medallion hanging from your lovely neck?
Oh God. Because I'm proud of my heritage, right? It makes me who I am. Because without my heritage and without me knowing about, my Jamaican culture and where I come from, then who am I really? And I absolutely proudly, you know what I'm saying? Even when we're playing the little athletics and whatever it is, a little Swedish man wanna, you know what I'm saying, fly the Jamaican flag and Nigeria flag and all that. Yes, man, fly it, because you should be proud of, our achievements and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like there needs to be a cut-off point to where you're coming into the culture and you're doing a bit too much. But that's not I don't live in Jamaica, right, on a daily. But my family and my friends and all of that sorts of things who do live in Jamaica, I don't get the same experiences because when I go there, I'm treated, because they cook for me and all of those sorts of things, have driver and them things there and whatever, takes me around and, show me about Jamaica and stuff like that. Especially, when you go over there as well, you're not just sitting down, just doing nothing. You're on the road, you're trying to, go to the clubs and the parties and the restaurants and be immersive in your culture. But I absolutely understand that I wasn't born there. So the barriers that they have to go through and all of those sorts of things. Hurricane Melissa didn't affect me, but I made damn sure that I sent barrel and feminine products and all of these sorts of things to help my people because that's in my power to do, right? So we need to understand that, you know what I'm saying, culturally as well.
100%. Brent, you happy with that answer?
From you?
No, from Elaine.
Did you hand it over to Lynn? Because I want to know if it is I'm a white man and I was born in Nigeria. My parents are also born in Nigeria. Doesn't that make me Nigerian?
I mean, you probably have a passport, innit? So it makes you Nigerian. But this is why Nigerian doesn't mean as much to me. Because anybody can get that passport. You know what I'm saying? But he can't ever be a Yoruba man.
Yeah. Cool. So, like I said, I came to this country when I was 6 years old. I still say I'm Trinidadian because I'm Trinidadian, but I know I'm a displaced African. You know what I'm saying? I also hold that in me. The Black British experience, I don't think it has been codified in such a way where we can refer to what it actually is with confidence yet.
Yeah, we haven't been here long enough,
And it's important for us to do that.
Yes.
Those who are right here, right now, I also have to feed into that.
Yes.
Do you understand? So I didn't feel a particular way when you said I am not allowed to call myself Black British, because why am I basically screaming I'm Black British when I'm Trinidadian? You get me? But I will be in those rooms, you know?
Absolutely.
Feeding into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you feel like what it means to be Black British will change in 100 years from now?
Absolutely. Because we will have solidified codes and practices and systems that can shape culture and also revolutionaries that are coming up, you know, behind us, you know what I'm saying? So there will be some sort of set in stone table as to what codifies as, you know, or is codified as Black British.
Not to start anything, just to ask a question.
Go on.
Shit, go on.
Let's just say I was I don't know. Let's just say somebody was half black and half
You
Pakistani.
definitely asked that in something.
No, it's just me wanting to understand about I guess the psyche of the black community, innit? Right? If, for example, somebody is half black and half Asian, for example, imagine race and thingy. But anyway,
You said it first time, half black or this Black African, whether Black African, Caribbean or Pakistani.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you think that person will be seen as part of the Asian community? Guys?
Let me give you a straight up answer, yeah?
All right.
When that whole thing went down in November, right? And I made myself very clear about where I stand. There was some, and I was doing like TikTok lives and all of those sorts of things. There were some mixed race people, half Pakistani, half Jamaican or half Nigerian that came up, right? And they were split. And I feel like it depends on what culture they have been exposed to, right? I can, but I can't tell them about who they are and all of those sorts of things. But I've had experiences where I've even had half Asian and half friends, half Asian, half black. And when I said what I said, and you know, this was when I've known them since I was young. When I've said what I've said, they didn't come to me and say, oh, you know what, Elaine, I felt some type of way about that, right? So, and because I've known you for near enough, you know what I'm saying, 18 years, what did you mean by that? Because I took that very offensively, because you're now attacking half of, you know what I'm saying, my identity. None of them did that. They literally took the stance of the Asian side, right? They didn't give me no room to explain myself. And I thought, that's absolutely fine, because now I know who you feel like is more important, right? And even when we talk about the mixture of the cultures in terms of us marrying, especially black men marrying into that particular culture, it is frowned upon, right? And they are absolutely hate it, and they will disown their daughters, right, if they are marrying a black man. And we also need to talk about that, right, and flesh that out as to why that is. So and the products of, you know, interracial relationships between those two cultures, those kids are going to grow up especially confused, because it's like, well, you know, my Asian mom and my black dad, but my Asian family are telling me that, you know, we can't go around or we can't be seen or all of those sorts of things. And I feel like that for them, they have to work that out. I can't sit here and mollycoddle you and be like, oh yes, come to the black community, we love you. No, right? If you want to understand who you are, right, you have to come to me. I can't go to you because I don't understand your struggle or the things that you're you know, in pain about. I can't do that for you. You have to find that for yourself.
Okay, and if that same person said to you, you know what, I'm part of the black British community, would you see it as that, or would you be like, kind of?
Yeah, I feel like with mixed race people especially, I feel like you need to have your own thing over there, because I don't want to encourage you to deny your other identity, right? I don't want you to sit down there and be like, oh, well, I'm black and, you know, forget, you know, my white side and all those sorts of things. No, because that makes you who you are. It's also in your DNA. Stop denying that, right? But because I feel like with mixed race people, because they're welcomed so much more into the black community and the black culture, they just automatically call themselves black because they also haven't explored that side and been accepted of their other side as well. That's something for them to deal with. You know, I'm too black for this and I'm too, you know what I'm saying, I'm too white for the black people and then too, no babes. It's because you don't know who you are. So figure that out because I can't do that for you.
I hear it. Chris, you also have a similar sentiment.
Interesting.
What's going on?
I'm of the. I'm similar stance.
No, you're not.
I am of a similar.
No, you're not.
Well, so what's my stance?
'Cause-
okay, so you can't. So can
Definitely
I not
not.
finish? Wow.
Right. I'll correct you. Go on.
I'll keep quiet.
Go on.
No, you tell me
You
what
said
my
you have a
stance is.
similar stance, Elaine, right?
Yes, I do have a similar stance. They should categorize. If you're mixed, you're mixed.
Yeah.
Denying one without the other, I personally, especially as it pertains to if you are like have black. I don't believe in the one drop rule.
Yeah.
So I don't subscribe to that.
Good.
That's not, no. If we're now doing one parent is black whichever and the other parent is whatever race, automatically black people will say you're black
Yes.
because you've got one parent. I don't subscribe to that. You're mixed. And it's, for me, it's not a slur to say so. It's not an offence to say so. Obviously, if you identify solely with that, obviously your upbringing, all of that. I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be something I'm gonna keep on challenging.
Yeah.
However, my problem is as a collective, when mixed people are represented in certain spaces, then black people are up in arms. And that's where I have a problem because it's like, okay, but if you're so accepting, why are you up in arms if they are represented in the black space?
Okay.
You need to pick a struggle.
Yeah.
So it's either you're for it or you're not. And that's what I have an issue. I've already made my stance clear. Because if there now becomes an over representation, then we start feeling uncomfortable. We're like, oh no, but da-da-da-da. But why are you uncomfortable? You say they're black. If one parent is black, they're black. I don't subscribe to that. I also believe, again, but by the racial dynamics, because of racial dynamics and racial history, we've been conditioned to be like, that's that. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are. And that's been set. That rule wasn't set by us.
It's been programmed.
It's been programmed by the way society is set up. Why white society have set it up.
Yes.
And not just white society. Again, you could be whatever other race, Asian, whatever. Because as the original question is, would they accept them as being Asian? No, they wouldn't.
No.
They wouldn't. They would even have a stronger stance than us.
100%.
They're like, no, you go back there. they would have a stronger stance than us. So no, and again, they have dictated that. I feel like we've been on the offensive, and it's been because I don't want to sound disrespectful, and I'm really not trying to be, but it's been, to me, it's been accepted by default because of the conditioning. And I don't think there's anything wrong if you're mixed. If you're mixed, you're mixed. That's fine. I mean, I believe in black love, innit? So obviously, it then begs the question. But obviously, again, if I'm believing in black love, are we now putting interracial couples in black love now? If you're interracial couples, then
That's not black love.
that's not black love, is it?
It's
So I'm saying, so like, again, if you're mixed, that's fine. I would be loud and proud it, because you are made up of two other people, loud and proud. But again, if whatever culture is dictated, then that's fair enough. But for us now, don't come and start piping up when a certain mixed race woman goes, oh, I don't date black guys though, even though they're mixed and they've got a black parent, and they come out and say, I don't date black guys. Don't be up in arms about that. Why are you up in arms about that? Or the other way around, why are you up in arms about it if a mixed race guy says you don't date black women?
I love that.
Why are you up in arms?
I love that.
They're made up of both. So whichever culture dictated it, they can be like, well, my dad was with a white woman, so I'm also going to be with a white woman myself.
Yeah.
Or they will be with a mixed person, whichever. But I'm saying, don't be up in arms about that. Us, as if you're saying, well, no, but they're all black though, so what does it matter? But that's what I'm saying. It's like the picking and choosing is where I'm just like, I'm lost. Because if now they become a representation, I don't like that, because it then becomes a thing of you get so much representation and the representation gets watered down, and then we get a flipping Cole Palmer. I'm sorry, I don't like that.
Have you guys seen that video? It was trending, I think, a couple months back, where it was this white guy, right? I think he was far right or whatever, but he was having a conversation. He said, oh, I would tell my white daughter to not date black men. And black men were absolutely livid. Yeah, they were absolutely livid. But I'm saying, but aren't we also taught not to bring certain people back home? So why are you livid? Yeah, it's because he's trying to cut off your, you know what I'm saying, your opportunities to what you can have, right? Because if you're telling these white, you know, your white daughters not to date us, well, now, you know, that lessens my pool, you know, or as Mark said, like, that lessens my pool, right? So there we have it. Like, you can't do that, right? So there's the issue. I'm just bringing that up. I'm just saying.
Question, Elaine. Earlier you asked, what does Black Britishness mean to you? Right? How does one become Black British? And you had said, as long as it is that you're born with black in you, you can identify as being black and British.
In the UK, if you're
in
born
the UK. Do you still hold on to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Why?
She doesn't believe that's
Who doesn't believe?
the one next to you, Christy.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh.
She just, that's what I'm saying. She
Because of the mix.
Yes.
Because of the mix thing.
Mixed. What? I don't subscribe to the Black British. Well, to be honest,
No, but if you're referring to a black child, like, that's what I'm referring to. I'm not referring to a mixed race person, because I believe what Christy is saying. If you are black, fully black.
So you do agree with what she's saying?
Yeah, I'm
So
saying.
a mixed race person cannot be in the black identity, Black British identity.
No, I thought I explained myself very well. I said it's not up to me to define it for you, right? But if you want to know who you are, you're gonna have to come to me, right? If you want to know your black side, but I'm saying don't deny your white side either. You are mixed. And I also said they have a section over there for you, because, you know, majority of mixed race people cry about how, you know, when they go into the black culture, they're too white, or when they go into the white culture, they're too black. So have your section. There's your section, there's your identity, run with that. You know what I'm saying?
So where I straddle different ethnicities, nationalities. I can call myself Black British, right? You don't agree with that?
I don't agree with it because you weren't born here.
Fair. But somebody who has a black parent and a white parent, that particular white parent has gone missing, raised by that black parent, mother or father, spend the majority of their life in the black community, pours into the black community. They don't see and haven't been able to expose themselves to the white part of themselves. Can they also straddle that particular Black British experience? Can they speak to it as I can speak to it?
It's very subjective, because it's very subjective. Even if you are in the community and all those sorts of things, why haven't you done the work to be like, who is my other side? It's just like, if you've been adopted or whatever it is, and you're in, a particular household, you have two parents, all of those sorts of things, good life, whatever. There's still something that's missing. There's something in your history that you want to know. So this is why adoptive people go out there and try and seek their birthright, to understand, like, oh, okay, well, what was the issue? Why didn't you love me? Why did you, give me up for adoption? It's that innate kind of emptiness. That
Let's say I did. Let's say I did the research, I did the work, and I found out who the other side of my family were. And I still basically... What happened?
No, go on. You still what?
No, what happened?
This is it's about discovery, isn't it? And I can't define that for you. I can only talk about from a black woman. You know what I'm saying? I can't talk from...
No, what I'm saying is, can they basically say that I have lived the black experience? That's what I'm asking.
You've lived the black experience, but you're not black British. You're not.
All right, this is clear for me now. So you can only be black and British if it is that you are fully black. It can't be 3/4 black. It can't be 7/8 black. It needs to be all the way black. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
I actually, the funny thing is, if we're putting it under the umbrella of black British, then I'm not gonna say they're not, because they've lived the example that Brent used. Then yeah, they're gonna say they've lived the black experience, and you have.
But have they lived the black experience or the black British experience?
Well, when you go to America, because you haven't lived that black experience, so you will have to basically define it even further. Yes. So.
Well, you said that black experience.
In the context of them talking about, it has to be British. So when I say black, we are talking about the context of living here. So apply that.
Yeah, and they've lived it.
I disagree, because we can still relate with you guys have literally shown me non-stop videos of where we can relate with black Americans, even though we haven't lived the black American experience, right?
Some would argue that someone push back on that.
That's what?
Someone push back on that.
That what? Sorry.
Us watching all these particular black American experiences and looking to say, all right, this is our life too. Someone push back on that.
No, because it's not. It's not. It's a different experience.
Right.
It's a different experience.
Right.
And obviously they get up in arms when we try to conflate the two.
We can
relate on certain regards, yes, but it's not the same experience, 100%. So, but I believe with Brent's example, no, I'm not gonna come and fight you and say no. I'm not gonna come and fight you. You 100% have, especially if that is all you've been insulated and that's all you've grown up with. Then you're not familiar with that side of the family, then thingy. Obviously, there's nuance. There is nuance to the conversation. You can't tar everyone with every brush and stuff like that. But however, when you're calling black, we get tarred with every brush. So that's what I'm saying. We don't consider the nuance.
But this is why I asked the question about black British, because you guys saying there's certain things that we can relate with Americans about, right? But those things would be under the umbrella of being black, right? But we can't relate to the black American experience. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is why I asked the question about the black British thing. Can the mixed race person experience what it means to be black in Britain? Or can they experience what it means to be black British in Britain? Because to me, the two will be different things. They're not fully black, so they can never experience what it's like to be a black man or woman in Britain. But the black British experience, if that umbrella encompasses all those things, because remember, there were different times in our time here in this country where we've experienced different things. You see what I'm saying?
All right. So the reason as to why I'm being so pedantic about this is because one skin tone is normally used as a marker for what we deem is...
Yeah.
You have experienced a black experience or black British experience, whatever, right? But you know full well you can find lighter skinned blacks, all blacks, than you can find mixed raced, right? So when it is you say that they have never experienced what it is to be black in Britain, what do you mean?
There would be a conversation.
And I'm not talking about all across the board. I'm always saying case by case by case. We have to always take it case by case by case.
If that's the case, then there's always going to be somebody that has done something.
And that's why it is I basically have to basically leave it open.
Can I ask a question?
Go on.
can a black person relate to a mixed race person's experience? Because if a mixed race person's relating to us, right, and you can give that space, can a black person walk in and say, I know a mixed race person's experience. I know it. And a mixed race person sit down there and accept it and be like, yeah, you're fully black, but you can relate to a mixed person. It's not going to happen because I'm not mixed race.
So I
don't have the emptiness. I don't have the longing. I don't have the belonging. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, come on.
We have to find our tribe. But this is what we do as humans in general. We find our tribes. We find our people. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you also just need to know who you are. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but, Brent, what would you say to... I'll bring her up as an example because she's been very loud.
Bear in mind, it's when I said come on, it was the emptiness that you spoke of.
Yeah.
You sweepingly basically said they kind of all basically have this emptiness in them.
Not all of
right?
them, no.
And it's important for me when I hear things like that to be like, oh, come on, and
get
explain,
that.
yeah?
I get that.
All right.
And I apologize if it's taken like that. I don't mean it like that. I don't mean that you're empty or whatever it is. But if you want to be a well-rounded person, you also have to explore that other side to you as well.
I agree. Sorry, Chrissy, what's that?
Yeah, I was going to say I was using what's her name as an example because she's been very loud and proud about it, even though she changed her stance. Lynn May, originally when I used to follow her before, and when she first started becoming like a social commentary or whatever, she would say she was black, and she would even go as far as to say, yeah, no, she believed that the whole black love. She believed that. She was like, yeah, no. She stood on that. She was like, yep, da. At some stage, at some point, she had some type of an epiphany. And then she said, no, she had stopped saying that because she's not. She's actually, her mum is Pakistani and white. Her dad is from Barbados, and she was just like it was her mum was feeling a way about that while she was standing on because she grew up in Tottenham. She was she lived in Barbados, so she knew her Bayesian side a lot and all this. She took in all that kind of culture and stuff, and she said her mum was taking offence that why she's saying that she's black when she's not. Her mum is not. And she was just like, oh, it's not. So she was just like, no, I'm going to say I'm mixed race now because that's a disrespect to my mum who birthed me, who isn't black. So I'm going to be like, I am mixed raced. And she's like, oh yeah, love is love, go away, or love and all that kind of, all that. I was going to say crap. But, you know. Yeah, she's all for that now. So she changed her position. Now.
Sorry, Christy, I apologize. K Price, can you just mute the stream for a second, please, because we can hear it in the feedback. We will come to you just now. Go on, Christy.
Yeah, so she changed her position. So and that is where I tend to, again, because I don't want to come across like I'm being disrespectful, but that's where I tend to come in, where it's like a position can be changed. Can she see how she changed her position? There's never a time I can change my position on being black. It is what it is. But she was able to change her position. And the funny thing is, people gloss over that because if people remembered her from before, she was out and proud to say she was black. Yes, she acknowledged that. Yeah, her mum is Pakistani or whatever, but she emphatically would say she's black.
I love that though.
And then she changed her position. And she was like, "Oh no, actually no. We should be proud. Don't be afraid to say you're mixed race. Don't be we should be proud and loud and we should accept that we're from different cultures and all this kind of thing is actually a beautiful thing." She said that. And again, I'm not gonna fight against her changing her stance. She ultimately can have a right to do so. But my thing is, this is what when you get that changing of stance, and then now there's some type of like there's now cross conversations being had now because it's like, okay, no, but you said you were black before, so now what? So there's certain people, she's an example where certain people can change their stance, and I would rather it be, okay, well, if we're gonna be changing stances on that particular thing, because at the end of the day, her makeup was her makeup. When she changed her stance, her makeup was her makeup. Her dad is Bayesian. Her mum's even mixed race with white and Pakistani. There was no denying that. But the change was there, and that's where I take issue.
But I love that, because that reinforces what I was saying, where Lynn May discovered and she had to do the work to know who she is. So that simple fact of she discovered who she was, made up with Pakistani culture, white culture, and also Bayesian culture. Now she has a well-rounded view of what her identity is. And that's a beautiful thing for a mixed race person. Me and Lynn May don't agree on a lot of things, but I love that she changed her stance, and that further backs up that the work that you have to do as a mixed race person and the discovery that you have to make, you have to do that on your own, right? And you have to have that intention. So I love that.
Good morning, K Price. How art thou? Hello.
Can Josh jump on Discord?
I have to ask him politely. Go on.
Josh, can you jump on Discord?
Please?
Please.
There we go. All right. Continue, man. I don't know what's happened to K Price's
Okay, so I've got a question. When K Price already, just jump on K Price. From somebody, they said, you've spoken... Where was it? Some people hear basically your message, right? And it feels... And feel it sounds similar to segregation. What would you say is the key difference? And where do you personally draw the line between protection and separation?
So you need to understand that this is not segregation culturally. It's segregation economically, and also in the business sense. We have to separate that, right? Because if you look at the Black community as a whole in Black Britain, we are hemorrhaging, we are bleeding, we don't have direction, we don't have organization, and all of these sorts of things, right? We need to focus on ourselves, and for that to happen, we need to segregate ourselves, to plug the holes, to patch up. You know what? I like to use this kind of analogy, whereas like right now, don't take offense, but right now, I see the Black community as a broke down house, right? Windows bust out, curtains, you know what I'm saying, ripped up and all of these sorts of things, right? And what do? We need to be under construction. And how does that happen? We need to close our doors, put a chain around, no one can't come in right now because we're under construction. And I feel like that is how we need to operate, right? So now we need to fix and get new windows in, fix the doors, get some structure, get some foundation. Now we could put in the flooring. Now we can, you know what I'm saying, do up the walls and all of those sorts of things, liquor paint, whatever it is. But we can't do that if we're, our attention's here or our attention's there. We're advocating for this one, advocating for that one. And to be honest, if you're looking at, the unified communities and all of those sorts of things, right now in 2026, as long as if you say we've been in unity with other communities, what has unity done for us? Because at the same time, are our kids any smarter, any more successful? Is healthcare for Black women pushed forward anymore since we're so unified, right? Politically, do we have any decisions when it comes to power? Financially, are we better off with unity? If you can answer that, then, you get where I'm coming from in the fact that we need to close off our community.
Well, some people would say, okay, cool, we hear what you're saying. But if you look at it, surely we're in a better position than our parents were, right? That's what some people say. In the political landscape, there's more Black representation in high positions in the Tory party and also in the Labour Party. In healthcare, 5 times more Black women pass away, sadly, from maternal care, but that's coming down to about 4 now, 3.5 or so, something like that.
Oh, wow.
No, but
amazing.
But what I'm trying to say is, someone may say to you, okay, cool, but there's progress. Do you get what I'm saying? So isn't the progress in the right direction? And if it is in the right direction, why do we have to tear down the building? Why can't we maybe say, unlock the house, you over there that wants to help, come in. One at a time, fair, but come in and help. Do you know what I'm saying?
Who is coming in to help? What other community?
Yeah. Somebody who's maybe good at painting. so while we're focusing on the windows, somebody can assist us with the painting. Someone can help us with the putting the hinges on the door or something. You know what I'm saying? Just to use your analogy.
Yeah. We've done that. Right? When our parents came over here, when, you know, they were discriminated against, no blacks, no dogs, no Irish, all of those sorts of things, when we were trying to find jobs and whatever it is, yeah, there were some people that helped us out, but not much, right? And when you're talking about the success, we haven't moved the needle further than, you know, it's already been moved. It's ever so slightly in 50 years. That's not much progress in my eyes. You referencing, you know, the medical healthcare in terms of black women, that needs to be gone, right? It shouldn't be, oh, it's come down from 4 times to 3 times. That is still alarming, right? And, you know, if we're talking about, you know, people from different communities coming in and helping, I don't agree, because then that knocks out us being self-sufficient. We need to do it on our own. If they would like to teach us how to do that, fair enough, because, you know, teach a man to fish, he can feed himself at the end of the day. But when we're getting other communities to come in and build the house, no, because then they start to dictate to us where the windows are going and what color the curtain should be. Absolutely not.
Do you think that as us, because back in our parents and obviously even the Windrush generation and stuff like that, and what they went through and stuff, and, you know, they was doing the partner because banks weren't giving them the mortgages and stuff like that, so they found different ways to be able to get those houses and stuff like that. But do you believe that basically we were pushed into that, that had we had the freedom, would this be even a discussion, like, of saying we need to come together? They were pushed into that.
Pushed into community? And then finding resources or resourceful ways to basically survive?
Yes, in terms of, let's say, it's like, okay, we're gonna stick together and move, and that's when I guess the economics was flowing. There was black businesses. There was the Caribbean shops were actually owned by Caribbeans, black Caribbeans. They were actually owned by them. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But because now we're in a stage in 2026 where is now we've been given the freedoms, so to speak. That's no longer important.
Okay. I see what you're saying. That's a good question. If I have this right. So you suggested that there's been progress, right?
Well, I asked the question if somebody was to say that, innit? That's basically what it is.
Do you sorry, where's your stance, bro?
My stance is similar to Elaine's, like Brother Malcolm said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If a knife is in my back 9 inches and pulled out 6, don't tell me it's progress. Progress starts when it's all the way out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sorry, Christy. Train of thought. So, if we, from the very beginning, were allowed to live, cook, breathe, build, would we be exhibiting the same divisive culture that we experience today amongst ourselves? Because the freedom, apparently, with the progress that came along, has us where we are. And the lack of freedom back then forced us to basically come together, find resourceful ways to basically pool money together and buy, build, and then patronize. She wants us to go back to the slavery, not slavery, but the oppression. And is that what you were kind of like asking?
I was basically alluding to
do we need more racism?
The fight against thingy was, and then when is that okay? The white man's ice is colder, and then we got it, and now we forgot about
Exactly.
But we forgot about patronising our own. We forgot we'll happily go to the Asian man shop. They are supplying us our things. What does it matter now?
Yeah, there's something that comes out of necessity, innit? Like human beings, our first priority is survival. You know what I'm saying? So I think there was something that made us say, okay, cool. As a black man, I don't know you, but I know that what I'm going through, you probably are going through. Cool, let's pull our resources. Let's do X, Y, Z, innit? The problem is, like you're saying, now that things have progressed, now that none of us are having to hide from immigration, now we've got passports. You know what I'm saying? Now we can actually apply for stuff. We can get mortgages. We feel as though some of those issues are no longer issues. And so those things that would have kept us together and
Back
seen
to
the brotherhood.
individual. Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
All
I
right.
kind of got, but that's the issue though, because we've tied our cohesion to us,
Oppression.
to our oppression, which is a problem. I should look at you and say, "This is my wonderful sister. This is my wonderful brother. Cool. That's enough for me."
And that wasn't
saying?
like that back home. It isn't like that back home.
Because back home, you're just amongst yourself, innit?
Can I just add something?
Fair.
Real quick? I 100% believe in what Christy was saying, because I feel like we've lost our culture. I feel like we've lost our unity, and we were better off when we first arrived because we did own houses and things of that nature. I was talking to one guy on TikTok, and he was saying our parents owned houses and all of those sorts of things, and then what did the kids do? Sell it off, right, and go their separate ways, and they don't engage back home and all of those sorts of things. So we have lost our way in terms of culture, in terms of, you know, and even our kids and all of those sorts of things. They used to listen. They used to have respect for elders when they're chatting and talking. And, you know, they were extremely mindful, right? I feel like we need to go back to that. I'm not saying that we need to go back to everything, because there were some, you know, behaviors that we absolutely need to stamp out. But the good stuff that we had, we can absolutely take that and go back to square one and redo this thing all over again. We should.
Agreed.
Good morning, K Price, and good morning, Josh.
Good morning.
Was summoned. If you can speak first, K Price, and then we'll go to Josh afterwards.
Sure. I'm not gonna, probably won't be on here for very long because I've been ill. I've been really run down for the past couple days, so allow me. But I would say I wasn't here for the most part, but I was just here from the discussion of Lynn May. And I remember something that I think about from last year that still sticks with me is when she said how she was privy to certain conversations because she was mixed. And I just remembered sitting here and thinking to myself, what sort of conversations are you privy to? Because while I am black, I am of Jamaican Ghanaian descent, and that makes me privy to certain discussions in a way that is similar to her. So that's why I asked what sort of discussions. Now, I could go on because I've been on here before and said a couple other things. But as far as the problem I have with this discussion, as far as saying, you know, pooling resources and everything, one thing I would say is I think this is a very London-centered discussion. I would be very interested to hear as far as people in, say, not just the other major cities, but also the black populations in a Britain where while they are smaller, they still very much existed. But the thing I kind of take issue as far as when I hear these narratives regarding the Windrush generation is, if my timing is right, it coincides the quote-unquote parents' generation who sold houses were the generations who started getting radicalized and combating the system. Whereas, and I don't say that as if to mean, oh, the Windrush generation didn't fight, but the narratives of the way how they were treated and being spun now is that it's saying they only focused on survival, they only focused on wanting to work and own properties and didn't complain or do anything. And that is far, far from true. I don't deny that some of them did own properties, but it wasn't reflective for everybody. And in a lot of ways, why they got into that was to get around dealing with the color bar. Also, and I say this because I've been reading Lane Bakare's We Were There, as far as when it comes to home ownership, one thing that nobody mentions, and I don't know if it's because of lack of knowledge or just because they don't know, is how much of a devastating effect urban renewal had. And that's in places like Birmingham and Manchester and Wolverhampton, where Black communities were labeled as dens of vice and sin and what have you. And bringing in new states was like, oh, this will make things better for everybody, when they didn't. And even at the time in documentaries like Black's Britannia, they complained about it, and they stated as such that such actions were circumscribed to destroy those communities. So when it comes to talking about value, like from our point of view, of course, those houses were valuable in terms of generational wealth and everything. But we have to wonder what was like the concrete monetary value of those places in grand scheme of things. And of course, as I did ask the last time, and I'll say it again, I understand where these ideas are coming from, but I have to wonder, how do these ways of entrepreneurship and trickle-down economics work in a country where we are all, by legal definition, subjects of the crown? A crown that is devolved and doesn't have as much power as it had ages ago, but still a devolved crown nonetheless. Also, I'd go into my stuff as far as like the problem with these discussions is always about success and failure, and one group needs to fill one role and another fits the other, and how I think that fits into certain narratives regarding Asians being the model minority and Black people having nothing but problems. But I'll leave it there. But also, just as I've said, the problem I have with this stuff is it's always a certain kind of Black person or people who have these sort of rigid ideas of success, who are held up as the example when they're exceptions. Those who don't neatly fit in fall through the cracks every single time.
Amazing insights, K Price, as per usual. Thank you very much.
If you will.
Josh, you were summoned and you were here.
Yes, I'm here. Do you want to say good morning?
Come on.
Morning, little one.
What would you like?
You're listening to the right broadcast this morning. Well done.
Okay, I'll get you something to say. What would you like? What was the question, Christy? Boss man.
No, because you can't. I can't find.
Oh, my thing is,
Yeah.
my stance is, I don't care what you think. Not as a personal thing. It's like we're talking about identity. It's like, what about my identity makes me what I'm saying rational or irrational? Not to say that what Natty said is true. It does inform me, but you're talking about, obviously you spent loads of time talking about mixed race people. It's like, as a mixed race person, I don't care what you think. It doesn't matter. No. Me, I have to go to the same job as everybody else. I guess I'm in the position. It's like, why do you care? What difference does it make? Like economically.
So
Like, what are you gonna like? Because you can, like, the thing is, yeah, we can choose to spend our money wherever we want, and I think if you want to buy back, you should. But sorry, one sec.
okay, that's a good question he's asked, Christy. Why is it so important for us to basically make sure that mixed race people do not fall into this particular category? Other than the example that you gave, I think you gave an example. You basically said that if they are seen as Black British, they might be chosen to benefit from whatever financial schemes or benefits that the government basically looks to dole out. Hence, you turning around and complaining, well, they're not Black British, I should be getting that. Why are they getting that particular thing? Is that one of the examples that you give?
I gave the example. That's the example that we do. That's what we would pipe up about. That's the example I gave in
All right.
terms of because we talk about representation a lot.
Yes.
So then when again, I don't want to sound derogatory. I don't. But when I guess they're put not even put, when they get a position or whatever, and then there's a there's a represent, and they're like, oh yeah, this is the representation of black.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then I guess who are fully black or whatever.
Yep.
There seems to be a undercurrent of being slighted. Like, oh, why is that the representation?
Yep. Yep.
When it's like, no, and then that becomes a conversation.
Yep.
And that's what I find to be interesting, because again, if we're going back to like, oh yeah, but they're under the umbrella of black. No.
Yep.
So if they're under the umbrella of black, why is there so much concern or conversation around them being held up as a representation, of representing me, representing
Yep.
Elaine or anybody? And that's what I mean. And in terms of in the economic sense, again, in the economic sense, they if they are now saying they are whatever you identify with, black or whatever, and they're also on the boycotting. But if they're now saying, well, no, I don't identify as black though, so I'm not going to boycott. Then what?
Yeah, obviously, a hypothetical scenario there.
It's not. You can say it's a hypothetical scenario, but that when Elaine brought this above, there was even black people saying, "Oh, wow, we're being divisive. Why are we boycotting?" So it's not hypothetical.
So there were even black people saying that yesterday.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
Right.
yes.
Let's focus on the mixed race people, because if you're then seeing black people even doing it, I'm not sure how much weight you mentioning mixed race people were doing that has now. Do you understand? If we ourselves were basically pushing back against Elaine, then so what if the mixed race person did? The main focus should be, why are you as a black man looking to say no to this particular thing? All right, question. Sorry, Josh, he asked, why is it important?
Why is what important?
Why do you care what a mixed race person thinks?
I don't.
Or identifies as...
Yeah. Just to clarify the question, and I agree, man. Some people should be boycotted because the examples that Elaine gave about the particular South Asians that are moving a certain way, that should be highlighted. You shouldn't do business with people like that who do bad business practices at all. Like zero, you shouldn't negotiate at all, because you can't be doing that because it's bad business. But where we disagree is that you don't think we have the power to do anything about it, when it's like we do. We just don't work together, and that's a choice, because people don't trust each other, whether that comes from external places or whatever. But it's like, to go back to the original thing is, what about my identity informs how rational what I'm saying is? Okay.
Did he get off?
No, he asked the question.
Sorry, say that again.
Well, I will say that the question is, what about my identity informs the rationality of what I'm saying? Like, I could say, well, as a mixed race man, blah, 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 but what I'm saying is nonsense, and me being mixed race has nothing to do with it.
I didn't say it was an issue. I didn't say it was an issue. People take issue with me saying the BOE. So
yeah,
so that's what I'm saying.
Sure,
so why exactly? Yeah. So and that's my point. If I'm saying black over everything, then that's where the questions start coming in, because then they start asking me, oh, but what do I consider black? And if I say, okay, well, I consider both my parents are black, my grandparents are black, my great parents are black. I'm black.
I think
I think that's where my thing comes in, because then I get questioned. Because is that, oh, but okay, am I included in that? And again, if that's how you choose to identify, again, there's nuances. Some people don't even know their white side at all, or whatever side they're made up of, and that's fine. I'm not going to challenge you on that. I'm not going to challenge you. I'm saying when there now becomes when they're now as a community, when certain things pop off. And let's be clear, we then get distracted by those kind of individuals and them conversations. We do. And then there becomes a distinction. Then there becomes the distinction that needs to be made. And now all of a sudden, what I'm saying is wrong.
Well, it's
So
also
that's
interesting
what
that
so I'm just like, no, but my thing is, as a whole, as a black community and stuff like that, if we're going to be doing all of that, then so what? There shouldn't be like an agreement of that, but there isn't though, because then my stance gets challenged.
well, yeah, because black people are not a group or a monolith, which I think sometimes gets misunderstood. So I'm gonna move away from these kids. They're just not. They're not a group in the way that a lot of people think they are. They should have unity, and they are unifying characteristics between them that they could use to easily more group together. But they're just not a group because some people, and this is a human thing, are just wicked, isn't it? And they don't want the same thing as you. But we jump to the conclusion that people do want the same thing as us.
So,
But again, so go for it.
no, finish your thought, please.
Well, that was kind of it. I was just going to kind of say I agree. The reason why I agree with what Christy was saying in terms of like people shouldn't challenge her BOE thing. Maybe they do because she comes across as disgusted at the thought of anything else. But it kind of informs my point. Like, what about the identity of the individual matters for what they're saying? If we're talking about progress,
All right.
anybody should be able to contribute to that.
All right. And I think part of my question starts there. The lovely Elaine doesn't see me as Black British. Do you understand? But I think she would welcome me next to her, looking to amplify anything that she's on, right? And I can basically know that she doesn't see me as Black British and be fine with continuing that. I could hold on to that. The same with, let's say, Danielle, right? You would say she isn't Black British.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Why?
No, I wouldn't say she's not Black British. She is Black British.
Well, she's
not born here.
she's mixed.
Yeah, but and I said I didn't agree with that because you said the Black British experience. She's experienced the Black. She has lived it. She's lived it. Yes, she's mixed.
She's not black.
Okay.
But she'll say she's Black Brit.
Okay. Being not black, I don't think I ever wanted to kind of extract that from you, looking to call mixed race people black. It was, can they identify?
That's where I get
That's the
challenged.
one thing that.
No, that's where I get challenged at because I say no, they're mixed, and I get pushback from that.
All right. So take Danielle as mixed, right? If Danielle comes to you and says, "What is it about me identifying as Black British?"
I wouldn't take issue.
Oh, let me continue, because I now want to basically stand next to Elaine, and I want to stand next to Brent to achieve this outcome of destroying the enemy, right? So getting into conversations about who is Black British, who is considered, allowed to, I guess, benefit from all the things that Black British people are supposed to, or you would like them to benefit from. What is it about that will have you saying, no, Danielle, you need to basically identify as this, or else it is that we can't basically do this together?
No,
What is the purpose of making sure Josh doesn't speak the way he wants to speak?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
It's just a question.
It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying unfortunately, the racial dynamics in this country dictate a lot of things. Now, unfortunately, that gets used. And so, underneath, again, being dictated by the majority who set certain rules in place, they would say, oh, no, but this is a black person.
So you've then gone to black. All right. It's the one job thing.
Yeah, and then what tends to happen is, let's say a panel's been,
and she's basically
whatever,
asked to come through because she identifies herself as black. Yes.
No, and let's say just the one, and then there was like, yeah, but she's that's the only person on the panel. Everyone else, whatever, and that's now the representation
of black.
And I'm saying that gets used. That will get used a lot. And that's what I'm saying. It happens a lot, and then we get with these discussions because it happens when it happened. It was a point of contention when Rochelle Humes did the whole documentary on black maternal death. There was issues about that. Like, why was she the one being used for that? When Candice Breathwaite, who was a dark-skinned black woman, she had also was, I don't know what happened there, but she also had her thing or whatever. But that was now given to the forefront. There was conversations around that. It then became a conversation, and that's what I'm saying. And I'm saying, but because of the racial dynamics, and that's being dictated, it's now like, okay, well, no, but I'm black though. I'm black though, so I can be there and represent. Why shouldn't Rochelle be there to represent or whatever? I can represent because I am black.
What is it that you're asking? Are you asking mixed race people to take, even though they have good intentions, are you asking them to take a step back and maybe do like almost like a positive discrimination sort of thing and put a black person in the right position to be like, yes, I'm part of this, but I feel like this black person will do a better job? Is that what you're trying to...
No, I'm not even saying that.
I also see a lot of that though. I see them overcorrecting a lot.
Yeah.
It's the ones that I'm around, mind you.
Okay.
Obviously, we've had different experiences.
I'm not saying this because whenever the fight that is to be had, if you're on board, then you're on board. And I'm not looking to just be like, oh well, no. So
that's my salient.
So no, I'm not trying to denounce or whatever. Because at the end of the day, you 100% could be under the ballot because you've had the black experience, and I could never take that away from you. And I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
However, I hold black very proudly. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
And so again, because of how we're viewed in a certain way. So so to me, yeah, I'm gonna go the extra steps. Yes, I am gonna go the extra steps. Yes, I'm gonna promote black love. Yes, I am gonna say I want there to be a foundation of that, because that doesn't get pushed enough for me. So therefore, no, I am going to do that. And if to anybody that means, but it is some type of overcorrection or I'm being extreme, I couldn't give a heck. Because we've lived under extreme circumstances. So I feel like extreme measures need to be taken place for us to get somewhere. So if that to me is taking extreme by saying position, nah, I'm BOE and it's black over everything, then so be it.
What I'm also hearing is it like you don't want mixed race people to feel a certain way, even though, because it's like if you are part of the cause and you know what the mission is, you put the mission above your feelings, right? So even if I say you're not Black British, but you understand the mission, and the mission is to move the black community forward, why would you then argue against me about you being included in certain things? You can absolutely play a role in the background and understand the connotations that come with that. But it feels like you're trying to include them based off how you don't want them to feel.
It's a good question. So, transparency. I'm going to be biased because I have mixed race nieces, right?
So do I. I have nephews.
I also have one of the co-founders for this particular project is mixed race, right? There's white in the family. It's not direct. It's back.
Yeah.
And this is why I always ask the question, like, where do you stop, right? Because everybody she grew up with, they would say she's black, right? Both her parents, black, very light skin. And the light skin came from back there. Do you understand? But she knows that particular heritage. And she has done the research to find out this is what this is. But her experience has always been, all right, I'm looking to better the black community here. I feel far more familiar and passionate about making sure this community that I grew up in has the best opportunity to thrive, right? Now...
Sorry, why would she be mixed race if she has two black light-skinned parents? Because we all have some sort of...
There's a white person, there's a German person, white German person above that.
What, as in grandparent?
Great.
Yeah, so do I. You know, like most of us do in the Black British, as being Black British, right? Because, well,
you're Black British and I'm not.
No, I'm saying if you're going back generations and all those sorts of things, you're saying like, where does it stop?
Yeah.
But if you have two black parents and, you know, you're now a black person, you are a black person. So I'm confused as to why you would make that reference as to great grandparents that are white. Why would you make that reference?
Because others do say that that person isn't altogether black if it is your grandparent or your great grandparent is white. Can I ask if it is that you agree with what I just said?
Which part?
Would you call them black?
If a great grandparent was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about grandparent?
I'll say yeah.
Interesting. How about you?
One of the great grandparents.
The granny's white.
A great grandparent.
Yeah, one of them.
I started with great grandparent, then I'm going to go down because you said yes to both. How about you?
If only the great grandparent is only one white and generations to come, it's been black, then obviously then.
And how about grandmother? Where is that the mother of that particular person is mixed race?
The mother is mixed race.
Well, that would make sense, right?
But to go back to it, why does
Sorry, Josh. Can you hold up, please? Go on. What were you saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I would class them as mixed. Yeah, I would.
All right. So we're now in a room where two people. Emile doesn't see them as mixed, see them as black, which is the grandmother, and Christy sees them as mixed. Right now, my thing is, what are all these particular conversations that force us to basically be divided in the mission? What benefit is it? Do you understand? Mm-hmm. That's my overarching point. Mm-hmm. What benefit is it of us? Because it's cyclical. This thing is always cyclical. And we know that we can see some examples of what Christy is talking about with the extremes, and we could also see some examples like, I guess, Akala. We've seen that, right? So I am going to always hold space open for those like Akala, for those mixed race people who I've come across who would say no to a particular job and say, can you go over there instead? I think this person deserves this over me. Or if you insist on bringing me in, I'm now going to make it my particular mission to bring as many black people in off the back of my position here.
But now you're talking about agenda, right? Because we need to understand that there's some people that have infiltrated the black community and the black culture, taken whatever and used their blackness, right? And done an Uncle Tom thing or whatever the case may be. And this is why we need to define and discern who we welcome in our space and who we don't, because we're infiltrated so much and we're oppressed. So even from our own people, do you know what I'm saying? Because they've been programmed and indoctrinated to think certain things. So we also have to leave those people behind. We can't take everyone with us. And you need to get realistic and understand that fact. Not everyone will be on our mission. Not everyone will have our agenda. But at the same time, there's certain people that use their blackness to go in, infiltrate, take what they need and leave what they don't want.
So the sweeping sentiments you share, I am totally in favor of, right? But I like granularity, granular approaches.
Okay.
Because for me, every single instance is a different case, right?
Agreed.
So I can't just do a wash over everything and think that that's the best way forward.
Okay.
Right? Because opportunities will be missed, and I could find myself looking to just fall into that particular cyclical thing I was talking about. Right? There's no way I can basically say I'm building what I'm building and focus my entire efforts on having these particular conversations stagnate here. We will go nowhere. Right?
Yeah, but it doesn't stagnate because I'm the minority in my thinking. The majority don't even agree.
It's true.
Let's be clear. The majority would move forward.
She asked me about myself.
I'm not hold my view.
I'm only speaking about myself, right? Why it is I like this here is because we have different opinions, right? It's important to make sure all these particular opinions are broadcasted in the same room with respect, because your voice isn't the only voice that I guess people relate to. Some will relate to Christy, some will relate to Emmanuel, some will relate to me. and I'm very upfront as to why it is I'm basically saying what I'm saying. I'm not hiding my biasness. I'm not hiding. But I do believe that we can find common ground in all of these particular people sat here with differing opinions. Do you understand? And I guess it's my point. If a selection of us decide that we are going to spend the majority of our time just basically having these conversations that just keep going like that, it's on me to say, all right, that can still happen. Let me over here do this. And when it is, it's time for this to basically be mobilized, they have something to basically go behind and push forward to. And I can guarantee you at that time, you're not thinking about, let's see who is supposed to be here in the sense, the grand sense of what it is that you mean. Again, 100% we need to protect everything that we are building, because we can't let even our own skin, our own hue, that don't think like us come in, because they are the worst.
Yeah.
It's not just the mixed race people that we've decided to, quote unquote, invite to the cookout and whatnot, or allowed to take our opportunities and whatnot. It's the darkest amongst us.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
When there's a corruption of the mind, that's where it is that we have to focus our biggest efforts to basically gatekeep. Lock that gate. In fact, if anyone comes in and we find out, flog them. Then dash them. And then, because they will be the worst. It will corrupt from inside.
I 100% agree with you, and also your stance. But I just feel like right now we can't focus on the minority and how they feel and where they're included, because we are nowhere. We have no foot in no industry. We have no power. We have no this. We have no that. If us four black people, we're all, four black people are in here. We all have to agree on one thing, one strategy, and how we move forward. Because the mission is the mission. The agenda is the agenda. Stop taking on other people's too many opinions and all of those sorts of things. That too many chefs spoil the whatever it is. That's the sort of thing that we're talking about. We don't have no power. We don't have no strategy. We don't have no organization. And therefore, it's up to the majority of black people to make that decision. Someone has to make it. We can't just let, this person, that's fine. You can do that. That could be a subsection, a little silo over there. We'll check in with you every now and again. But this is the mission. The mission is the mission. The agenda is the agenda. How are we going to move the black community forward? All of the things that come with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, the sweeping sentiments that you're sharing is what I believe in. Do you feel that I am saying that we should solely focus on talking about the mixed race experience?
No, I feel like though you are protecting their feelings and whether or not they are left out of the conversation, even though they do have black parents and all of those sorts of things, because you went hard in terms of trying to break it down into bite-sized pieces about grandparents and this grandparent and that. Right now we don't care, right? The mission is the mission, and black people need to be of one accord for now and be of one voice for now and move the mission forward for now. It's not like we're forgetting them. It's not like whatever it is, but I can't be considerate of you right now. I'm focused on doing this sort of thing for the majority of the people. When
you say be considerate of them and looking to protect their feelings, what do you mean?
I feel like in our community we have this sort of everyone's
just from Brent. What am I saying? You? What am I saying that has you feeling that I'm looking to protect their feelings? I'm not saying I'm not. I just want to know what I'm giving off.
Because you've hammered down on this more than once in this conversation about mixed race people, and then trying to challenge us and even put in scenarios that aren't real cases, right? And saying, well, if they have one grandparent as white, or what would you define that as black, and all of those sorts of things, instead of taking what we're saying as what it is and moving on and accepting that we don't accept that particular perspective. But you've been hammered down so much about it, and maybe that's because you mentioned that you have mixed race children in your family and you also have white people in your family, so maybe that's a reaction to, okay, well, I want to protect my nieces and nephews. I believe that's what you said, right? Because I do want to include them, and maybe that's just what I've got from you, that you want to protect their feelings and not make them feel like they're not included.
Included in what, though?
our conversation, our community, because you're trying to establish who is Black British from who's not Black British.
Oh, so no. Mama, I'm not Black British, right? You told me, in your opinion, I'm not Black British.
Well,
right?
you wasn't born here.
No, I have no problem with your definition. I've got
Okay.
no problem
All
with
right,
your
cool.
definition. Yeah,
Okay.
none whatsoever. You don't know anything about me and what it is that I am building right now. Like I said, I'm going to talk to you afterwards.
That's
right?
fine.
No, that's cool. So my focus is on making sure that we build infrastructure so that even these conversations that we're having have weight to it. There's some sort of outcome after we have these particular conversations.
Agreed.
I hate when people just talk and talk and talk and nothing is done.
Agreed.
Right? So if it sounds like I'm protecting mixed race people, because I believe that mixed race people are part of the Black British experience. And what it is I'm building, it literally looks to centralize this Black British culture of ours. You wouldn't say it's mine, but I'm saying it's ours because that's how I define it, right?
That's fine.
So they also have to have a say in this thing. Even if it is, I am confused, right? There is chaos within me because I am straddling this particular culture and I'm also straddling this particular culture. This particular culture don't see me as anything other than what that is. 3/5 of a man or whatever, right? This particular culture is saying, you're here until it is that you are annoying, and then we're going to basically say that you're diluted in this, that, and the next, right? So I'm confused. That conversation is also important because it influences, impacts the Black British identity.
Majorly?
Enough for us to be talking about it right now, surely, right? In the pursuit of looking to codify something, you need to basically have these conversations. And to say that they shouldn't be at the table when it comes to what the Black British identity is, it doesn't make any sense to me, right? Now, you don't have to hold this opinion. Like I said, I am building what I'm building outside of you holding that particular opinion. I just told you just now, you are going to be a fantastic resource for what it is. We as a community, if we think about looking to mobilize and do something as possible, right? And I can't look to see anything but the positives from what it is that who it is you are and what you've done. Do you understand? And I choose to focus on that as opposed to the negative things that could further look to basically make this particular task impossible. Do you understand? So that's why I said, I don't mind your continuing talking about this. I will continue building over here and continue. And once it is, I would look to say, all right, cool, let's do this thing together. I don't think we then look at our skin tone, who our grandmother is, who... When it is that you mentioned that particular shop that got shut down, I know that you didn't just see black people there. Forget about white people. I'm not talking about the allies in that particular sense. You saw other people that had grown up around black people, that identified as black, as well as white, as well as Indian. You know, when it is that they mix, they will identify sometimes as both, sometimes they don't. I'm not telling you go home. I can't. Because I see your importance right now. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. And I think that particular action should be rewarded with an archiving of the efforts. Do you understand? I don't think it should be overlooked. K. Price came on earlier, the fellow that spoke before Josh, and he spoke about this being London focus. You know, he's a regular in the chat, and I know that he's always saying, "Y'all are there talking about all this and that, but y'all don't think about the people who are disabled. You're focused on this, but you'll never think about us, right?" So I always feel left out. You're talking about what that is, but how would what you're doing even benefiting me? I can't say that what we're building is for all of us if it is I don't also allow him to have a platform to spread what he is saying. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So if it sounds like I'm protecting mixed race people, in the context of what I just said, yes, I am. And I think I'll continue doing that, right? I will always hold space for you to say, hey, you can't look to bring all mixed race people through. The same way you say you can't look to bring all black people through, because it's a mindset. Like I said, it's a mindset. Forget about the skin hue. It's the mindset. Even when we're talking about the Black British experience, some other black communities, they will separate themselves from that. Don't even call me into that. I want to solely say I am this, and I want you to know it's different from what you guys are talking about. Leave me out of that conversation. I too have to hear that and say, all right, fine, that's cool. There might be a point in time when it is that you are not differentiated from us and you would need help. I will still be here for you. Do you understand? That might be your moment where it is that you awaken and see, all right, there's a common evil. And the things that separate us, we have to put that aside and focus on the things that basically bring us together. Especially when the enemy is at our door. They're in our house. Do you understand? And you've been saying they own all the businesses that benefited from our culture. Do you understand? I mentioned two enemies there just now. I'm portraying like the enemy is different. But anyway. So if you do get that from me, cool, that's fine. Sorry, Josh. If you do get that from me, fine, that's fine. And I won't shy away from, like I said, telling you, I'm biased. You understand? I'm biased. But I got space for you, and I got space for the person who is there also saying, yeah, let me hear Akala out because he's doing something good there.
But can I just make a point?
No, first story. But if we're as Black Banner and we're trying to get somewhere, are they going to be denied? Because if we're trying to fight to get somewhere, are they going to be denied under the Black Banner? Are they going to be denied?
I hope not.
If we reach somewhere.
I hope not. Do you think that they should be denied?
No. I'm saying if we're going to a certain place, they're not going to be denied, though.
I hope not.
They're not going to be denied. So, to me, again, my nuanced view that always gets pushed back. Because that's what I'm saying. My nuanced view gets pushed back. And that's what I take umbrage with.
Yeah, but it's the two sides of your mouth you're talking about. Because when you're saying that they're not going to be denied, so what are you campaigning for?
I'm campaigning for black. And that's what I'm campaigning for. Whether you identify that, I'm not going to push back. But don't push back on my definition of what I believe is black.
So you're talking about the mixed race people push back on your
because I say two black parents is black. So obviously now it then becomes I'm taking issue.
Well, you're consistent. Your man's a bit different than you. If it is that you have a white grandmother, then you're black, which I think is cool. The fact that you're saying that. I never thought that you actually say that, but we now know that both of y'all are on different.
But I said this before. Remember, we've had this conversation. I said, like, for me, I understand that perspective in it, but I'm able to see black as race, as a social construct, and apply context. Because how do I say Booker T. Washington is not a black man? How do I say Frederick Douglass is not a black man? How do I say those things?
Pause. Do you agree? He just mentioned 3 mixed race people.
Who, me?
No, the young man, the NY fellow over.
He's asking, do you agree with him?
I'm asking, do you agree with him?
That what?
That those particular people are black?
No, they're not black.
Okay. And does that change anything with you and your mission to make sure that we kill the enemy and build?
Sorry, can I just also mention W.E.B. Du Bois was an absolute rival against Marcus Garvey and the Starline thing, right?
Yep.
And not a lot of people know that. So, as you clearly said, there needs to be context in that mix for you to understand what their motivations are, what their agendas are. And also as well, can I just say, when you mentioned, Kay Price's perspective about how some black people are not included, I absolutely 100 agree, understand that. And I feel like we need to do a better job at including those people up there. Because when the Windrush scheme thing broke, that story broke from a guy called Sid, and he was in Birmingham, and he was saying, look, I went to black journalists and black media outlets and none of them would take it up. Now I'm coming to you with this. Can you loud this up for me? I said, absolutely, without question, right? But it's because now some of us are afraid to talk. Some of us don't have those activisms. Some of us are completely scared. And some of us are just not that pro-black, right? And some of us don't want to rock the boat. And some of us don't want to mess up our money. And this is the thing between me and them, because no one is speaking like me in the UK, and I can say that with confidence, right? Because I'm not taking YT money, so no one can't dictate to me what I say, how I behave, or what I do. Because and when we look at certain, you know, influencers and celebrities and all that stuff, I feel like we should not be putting that burden on them for them to be like, well, you're black, so you need to take up the... No, absolutely not. It's for us individually to take up that baton, right? And to be like, well, no, we're going to be pro-black. We're going to move strategically in this. We're going to have to do the work in certain things. And Christy is right in what she's saying. Just because I don't include you, stop seeking my validation to be like, well, Christy, well, what about me? Well, no. And at the end of the day, I understand what you're saying in the terms of, you know...
Applying context?
Yeah, applying context, absolutely. But I also understand that I'm not going to make the minority consume this mission, because if I let it consume this mission, and if I start, you know, being too considerate or too invested, I'm gonna completely be thrown off with what I'm here to do. And that's just that. If you want to go deeper on all of those sorts, absolutely do that. But if you want to join forces and have a subsection over there, we can also do that too. It's about collaboration. But don't ever forget that we are driving the black community, because mind you, we don't have the finances, we don't even have the confidence to stand up and say, it's just black, right? Without having pushback from our own people.
I like how you just pointed to me just now.
No, I'm not. No, it's not.
I'm fine.
Oh, stop it.
Fine, Elaine, I'm fine.
Stop it. It's
And
not.
again, the majority don't agree with me, so that's fine. So me saying what I'm saying, it actually doesn't move the needle, because let's be clear, E-man's more time, everyone's definition was like, no, but mixed race is black. So I'm not moving any needle, to be honest with you, because actually the majority believe. I've heard more people say they believe that than what I say.
Yeah, it's the where the needle is moving to that I'm trying to ascertain like what it is. Do you understand? Like, what do you mean? The fact that it is that you aren't moving the needle to where? To where?
As in,
what's the end of this particular
I'm not
scale?
moving the needle in terms of where it now becomes a thing where I'm excluding them. It doesn't move. It doesn't actually.
But are you saying that you would like to? If
No,
you had your way?
I'm not saying. I'm not saying. But
So
again, but
confusing.
because I say BOE, then the question gets posed to me. Oh, well, do you consider them black? And if I say no, they're mixed, then I get pushback. And that's my point. That's my only thing.
Yeah, I don't think any mixed race people should be coming to you and disturbing your peace, to be honest. I'll protect you from
Can I
that.
jump in?
Sorry,
Please.
Josh, go on.
Don't you think it's patronizing that you can determine the status of this third group as if we look to you for validation anyway? Because again, I understand that people are trying to spare feelings, but who asked? Like, this goes back to it's also irrelevant. You're talking about identity stuff, and it's like, respect to what Elaine is doing, but do you see yourself as a leader in the black community?
Absolutely. I see myself a leader. I see myself as a protector. I see myself as someone who will take on and actually care about individual stories. I reported on Deesh, a mother who got sepsis and lost all of her limbs. I campaigned for Marcus Fakana, rest in peace, when he lost his life. That really hurt me, and even talking about it now, it brings me to tears. I've also campaigned for the 2 girls that went to Jamaica and got themselves in problems and whatever it is. I'm still in contact with them, so no one can ever sit in my face and tell me that I'm not a leader, that I don't move whatever it is. I absolutely do.
One question.
I absolutely do.
I asked you whether you considered yourself that or not. That was all I was saying.
Yeah, she said,
It's good that
she said, but she gave examples. She gave examples. Just
question that off.
But you know, it's people who, if you don't know me, then you don't know my work. talk, you don't know what I do. But at the same time, it's like I'm very passionate about my Black people. And I would say I was chosen for this because of what transpired over the last couple of months, because I was just doing my little thing on my TikTok and raising questions and whatever it is. But now I've been chosen to be this leader and to also garner support. And Black people come to me all the time about how they can, what they want to do to contribute to make our community better. I will absolutely champion that.
You said it wasn't chosen for
great.
her.
So,
Go on.
so my question was, so now that you've in a room confronted with people who you would, I guess that my question is relevant. What has been exemplified in this discussion is that the Black identity is so fractured that it's impossible to have one group, because you have people in the same room. There's no mixed race people in the room, so we spoke about them for too long because they're irrelevant. There's a bunch of Black people in the same room who don't even agree. So where is this Black group that you're now a leader of, when it's like there is no group? It's a fragmented mission that you have. This is where I get a bit of a disconnect. Is that I understand, but are you saying that you have the right version or vision for all Black people and they should come and be under your viewpoint?
I've always said, sorry, have you finished?
Sorry, no, I'll be doing.
Oh, I've always said that I cannot do this on my own, right? And I've always said that I welcome every single Black person who has a strategy, who has a plan, right? When the thing that went down in November, I took a step away for 30 days because people were telling me, you're doing it wrong. This isn't the right way. We need to do this. I said, okay, let me step back, right? And see what other people are, right. And what happened?
Nothing.
What strategy did people come up with?
Where was Robert?
What educational healthcare plan did we plan, right? Everyone was talking, but no one actually did nothing. No one came with no tangible solutions and all of those sorts of things. The previous caller said before, I can't reveal everything that I'm working on and all of those sorts of things because of bad mindedness and all of those sorts of things, right? But I can also stand in this and say, you know what? I have something, but I need people to help me. No one's really, there's been a couple of people, but no organizations have reached out to me, right? No institutions have reached out to me and said, Elaine, we have the foundation. We just need you as a platform and X, Y, and Z. No one's done that, right? So that means you're not on the same agenda as I am, and that is okay, right? I know that I can't take every single Black person with me. I know that. Some of our people are indoctrinated. Some of our people are programmed, but I don't have the time to sit there and work that out with you. I have things to do.
This is a callback, wonderful. This is a callback to the gentleman in the beginning that you played, where it is that he said that when he was introduced to Malcolm X, like he was afraid because he was taught to kind of go around the problem as opposed to just
Yes.
And Elaine is
right?
Love it. Good morning, Nat. Black Robot got you just now. Good morning, Nat. What would you like to share?
Hi. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yep. Yeah. No. Interesting discussion. What I wanted to say was that, really interesting. I think in my mind, right, everyone is saying the right things, but we're coming from different places, right? And I think what would be most valuable, right, is coalescing people around a set of values and ambitions, right? So, for example, and underpinning that is actually having a narrative that serves a broad purpose. So, for example, there's data from the Office of National Statistics, right, that shows that Black families, like in terms of inheritance, people inherit between £1 to £778, right, on average. And in most cases, actually, people inherit debt, right? That's an example. There's an example just around outcomes. So there's a way that you can kind of use the evidence and the data to kind of really strengthen what you're saying, because what we're talking about, right, is actually lifting the community so that we have equitable, equal sort of outcomes, right? Because I think when we focus on things that are not evidence and not data led, it kind of takes you down this rabbit hole of feelings and all this sort of stuff, and accusations of, oh, you're trying to make this group better than this. No, it's just about having same outcomes as everyone else, and the data can help us support this. And I guess I think there's different missions for different people, right? So if you are a consumer, right? The mission could be easy, like, really try and support Black business as much as you can. Which, a lot of us try and do, here and there. But maybe if you are trying to build infrastructure or are contributing to like the means of production, there's a certain set of missions that you may have in terms of like how you design what you're building, right? To actually, help contribute to good outcomes for Black people, how you engage in like your back-to-back business-to-business supply, like your suppliers, your procurement, and all that sort of stuff. That's the role that you can play. And I think I'll just use an example. So I, in a previous role that I did some sort of like diversity and inclusion work, right? And in the organization where I was working, we were looking at representation across, I'll say grades, so that people sort of understand, right, in the organization, right? And obviously, as in most organizations, it was bottom heavy, like with Black, brown people, and top heavy, like with white senior people. Mm-hmm. So as part of like the diversity and inclusion strategy for that particular organization, one of the things that we did was sort of to say, okay, at grade level, there needs to be representation. So 13% Black, Asian, minority ethnic, right? But one of the things that I did was actually say within this sort of like representation, we need to have at least 3% Black representation, right? So that was then designed into like the actual strategy, because it kind of accounted for the fact that I think we've kind of alluded to it, that some groups will get preferential treatment. I know we've been talking about mixed race people, but we know when we start speaking about people of color, like South Asians, sometimes kind of tick that box. But then that like being baked in and designed into the strategy for that organization was helpful. Obviously, there's a question as to whether that organization is able to do that, but that is now there as its set of ambitions, right? So that's why I say I think there's different missions for different people, and I think when we kind of focus on data and all that sort of stuff, it kind of helps in terms of, because when you start talking about mixed race, qualifying people, you get down a sort of rabbit hole where you may end up not achieving stuff. Because like, for example, you gave that example of your partner. So I mean, like your business partner who is mixed race, but is actually helping you build this infrastructure for Black voice. Right? So the mission is clear. So even if like a mixed race person came and was part of the work that you're doing, the mission is clear. So I think there's a bit of that. And obviously accounting for the fact that I guess as Black people, it's a very accommodating race, right? So you're going to have all types of mix. You're going to have new immigrant groups. So I think just from my experience, kind of working in a space of, trying to make better outcomes for Black people, you don't get far when we focus on feelings and this. You get far when you focus on data, and there's so much data, and that's something that can help like your narrative and actually help in terms of bringing those people that you think maybe have an unfair advantage into actually becoming contributing input to your success. I hope that kind of makes sense.
Thank you very much, Nat. That was wonderful. All those thoughts cohesively shared. Stay a while. Black Rob, what are we saying? I hope it is you not coming to attack our babies again.
No, I was just here to listen, innit?
Why are you on stage then?
Huh?
You came
So
for
I like to
trouble.
listen
What?
from-
No, you were gone.
Nah.
You came back. Don't lie.
Nah, I chose peace. In the time that I was listening, I like
Good.
the way the conversation's going.
I like
I
that.
don't want to bring us back to the battle.
All right.
So yeah, keep doing what you're doing, Elaine.
Good. Be guided. Thank you very much. Emmanuel.
Yes, indeed.
Sorry, can I just say I need to push back on that whole there's no supposed group because there's no unity and whatever. But yet this no supposed group in what Nat mentioned in the stats, we're always at the bottom of the stats though. This supposed no group that we're not unified in. But when it shows up in the stats though, it gets very real and represented in the music industry in terms of where all the revenue comes, how it comes, but who's at the top. In the medical field, she just said even, I don't know what industry she was talking about, where the bottom is represented, overly represented, but the top is not. It's the same in the medical industry. The stats say it's highly represented with white doctors and Asian. The black, there is not black there. Teachers, there's not represent stats there in terms of, again, even just as in students. So this non-supposed group that, we're not unified and blah 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 whatever, but yet we're so overrepresented in so many stats though. So my thing is, fair enough, you can say we're not unified and whatever, but they clearly are unifying us in something though. There's unifying us in struggle though.
All right. I think I understand. You're saying that they essentially see us as a group, right? They see us as a unified body, and they step on us all the same way, yeah? That's what you're saying. Yeah. I agree.
And I'm all for pushing it forward. And I'm all for making sure those people whose feelings are hurt when Elaine says what she says, I personally don't get it. When they start getting their feelings hurt. When we want to, quote unquote, unify, people want to get their feelings hurt and know, oh my God, why are you causing a divide? Why are you causing a divide and all this kind of talk or whatever? And the black people are among that. Oh, don't tell me where I'm going to shop. I'll shop wherever. I'll shop wherever.
You know, there was one video on TikTok where this black boy sat there, pressed record and said, I'm not boycotting the South Asians. Boss man lets me offer 50p. You think I'm And I could have shriveled, the ground could have swallowed me up when I said that and it got thousands. I'm talking about, it was close to 100,000 likes, yeah? And it was all by a particular community, right? And I'm saying, can you imagine them subscribing to that and you being okay with that? And I was burning with embarrassment because I was like, even my own people can't see that they're being used by a particular minority and how they see them as, boss man will let you off for 50p even though he's made 10 grand from you, you know what I'm saying, throughout the year or whatever it is, from your kids, from you not cooking, from you coming because you can't be bothered to cook and all of those sorts of things, right? And he's letting you off for 50p. Of course I'll let you off for 50p because you're already giving me, 2 grand, you know what I'm saying, throughout the year. So it's just like, we need to come back down to earth and be very realistic. I also, for the previous caller, when she was talking about statistics and stuff like that, I absolutely do get that, and I do try to put statistics out there. But my mission for this year is to deprogram and de-doctrinate my people. I can't hit them with statistics and all of those sorts of things if I can't even get them to buy from each other. Right? Like, we need baby steps here. I can't just immediately go, you need to do this and understand the mortgage and all of those sorts of things. Yes, for the educated ones out there, absolutely. But, there's some people that don't understand that and don't have right now the provisions to do that. But they have provisions to buy from each other, to support black businesses and all of those sorts of things. You need to know your audience. It's baby steps. Right? Yeah. So that's all I'm trying to do. Next year, we'll go into, attacking certain things and finances and all those sorts of things. But right now, I need to take my people's hand and walk them. That's all.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything being loud with that kind of stance, because the same people who are on opposite stance are also very loud. So therefore, no, I will be equally as loud in my stance and say, no, it is BOE over here. It is black over everything over here, because I need to drown out that noise to me, which I would say it's noise, because you're gonna get them come up and be like, oh well, da da da. I need to know that there's actually a distinction there. There is a distinction there. No, you're not just gonna. I'm not gonna be appealing to and be like, oh no, but you know, if you boycott Asian, then no, I don't care. I don't care. That's all feelings at the end of the day. I don't care, because when we hit them where it hurts, and we divert the funds somewhere else, and actually not somewhere else, actually to us, then we can care about it. We can care about everything else.
Can I just touch on the boycott actually, in terms of, there were some people that were coming to me that said, oh, well, why don't you boycott the white people? This is what the Asian was saying. Well, if you're going to boycott us, then why don't you boycott the white people as well? I said, first of all, I don't need to explain a damn thing to you. But if I was, what you need to understand is I'm in a white country, right? I can't boycott white people, right? And also as well, if I'm looking at things, like some white people have absolutely helped us in our plight, in where we need to be. I'm not saying that we're giving them their flowers and all those sorts of things, because there is more that they can do. But I also understand that, you know, having allies is okay, but we also need to be self-sufficient in that. And you are the closest when it comes to oppression. You, because you're in my community. I'm going to your butchers, getting halal meat, by the way, when you're supposed to be Christian, but that's another conversation, right? I'm going to your corner shops 2, 3, 4 times a day, you right? So you're getting money 2, 3, 4 times a day from me, yeah? You're immediately the people that I'm giving my money to, not really necessarily the white tea people, because really and truly, if you go to Tesco, whatever, that's once a week. Right? But I want to divert those little piece of money, the little piece of change that we get, I'm diverting it to the black community. So when we come to the shampoos and the this and the that, there's online stores where you can buy that stuff. You don't necessarily need to go to their shops. And even organising yourself better in terms of getting your shopping or whatever it is, just put aside a little time. Oh, I know I need to go into Brixton Village to buy from the black-owned shops. So I'm going to set aside some time to do that. Even though I live Quay and, I don't know, Orpington or somewhere like that. I don't know. I'm just saying, right? There's a new Afro Mart shop in Orpington, actually. Big them up, right? You can go there and they are more than welcome. And we need to encourage that. We need to loud that up. Not loud up this one who, is sleeping with this one. And no. And I even said that, when they did the whole clapping thing and, they were trying to make it out that it's particularly the black community and the black kids and whatever it is. And Lynn May did have, an opinion on that. And I said, hold on a second, but you're louding up the negative stuff. But when our kids are doing fantastically well in science competitions, winning, prizes in athletics, and building stuff out of literally nothing, right? All over the globe. I don't see you louding that up. So when you're talking about behavior, my girl, it doesn't correlate. Because if the behavior is for us to loud up, the success, you don't attribute that to black people. You say, oh, the black British youth of today, they're absolutely, no, not even the black British, it's the youth of today, the British youth of today. So wonderful, so eloquent, whatever it is. But when our kids are acting delinquent, oh, now it's a black people problem. Do you know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't take the bait. You saying I shouldn't be eating halal meat because I'm a Christian. That's irrelevant to me.
I said it's another conversation.
You can hold that, yeah.
I said it's another conversation.
No. I just don't want to distract you because I like where you are, right? So, Emmanuel, what does it mean? Because I found it an interesting thought. Why don't you boycott from white institutions? Like, what does that even mean? What do you think they meant when they asked her if she does the same with the whites?
I think they're taking it personal. Like, oh, you know what? Why is it you just targeting us? So in the same way you have an issue with us, why is it that white people have a history of treating you a particular way? Why are you not doing the same thing to them?
So I know I could go into this man's shop and purchase items for me, yeah, that are marketed towards me, and put money in his pocket, and then it stays in their community. What am I doing that's parallel in the white community? Because if they said, why aren't you doing the same thing to whites? What does that mean?
Yeah, so why you not boycotting, innit?
What?
Their stores and stuff. Like Tesco and all the other things that you do.
Can you not do that, Elaine?
What?
What he just said.
Well, boycott Tesco
Boycott
and Sainsbury's
Tesco and all this. They employ what black people,
Right?
right? Do they not employ black people?
All right.
Do they not have? Hold on, wait, because I love this.
Africana.
Do they not have diversity and inclusion departments, right? Do they not have discrimination practices and policies and all of those sorts of things?
So it's back to giving back then.
Hold on. No, they're not giving back. It's about equality, right? And making sure that we are not discriminated against or treated unfairly, even though we are, but at least they have policies and procedures in place. If you go up in a South Asian man shop, do you see us anywhere? Do you see diversity or inclusion policies up in there? Do you? Wait.
Okay.
Because I really want this to land.
Yeah.
Do you see, any HR kind of departments to where if you do have a grievance, you can go to them and all of those sorts of things, and it will be investigated and whatever it is, because the YT people do it, right?
All right. So the point I wanted to highlight is when I said yes, is in Ilford, they've clocked on that wonderful people like you are on social media trying to get the blacks to stay out of there. So they've said, if all you're asking for is a little representation, I'll put a couple blacks behind the counter. You understand? And we go in there and say, Elaine said, if it is that we don't see a black in here, we shouldn't shop here. But I see a black, so I'll continue. Is that...
That's never been my message. I've never wanted them to employ us.
I want you to remove that aspect of it, right? Because just pretentiousness, just changing what's in the storefront, the shop window, and that's one of the things that the gentleman who responded to you said he will make some sort of logo where it says
Malik Butcher.
Absolutely, because all you're doing, you think all we need is for you to basically put a fist in all of the shop windows that we shop at in order to placate us. That's not what she's saying, and that's why I said I want you to remove that aspect of it. Not that we need to see the blacks there for us to still look to patronize. No, because it's a good business plan, because that's all it is. Some of us actually need to still be patronizing them. I don't like that.
I don't either. And even when he put that to me, I laughed, because I was like, no, Malik, just because you employ us, that still doesn't get to the crux of why you don't do business with black people. Because white people can employ us all day, right? But we still need to get to the crux as to why you don't go into business with us. You don't necessarily have schemes or whatever it is in place to even, educate certain, but white people do. And that's what I'm saying. And, I really do want to hone the fact that, you see, I don't know if you saw my viral video where I cast off racist white people. This was in 2024, yeah, and I went viral for it, right? Cast them off stink, yeah? Because I'm saying, how can you, roll up on people and all those sorts of things when, South Asians sent, soldiers in World War II and all those sorts of things. Who do you think you are, blah, blah, blah. Round of applause from them, held up by them, all of those sorts of things. So now when I turn my injustice gavel upon you, now all of a sudden it's, why are you being divisive? Oh, you're Islamophobic, you're hate, you're racist, and all of these sorts of things. But now I know what you think of my community, and now I know who you are to the core. Because we can sit up here and say white people are racist all day, have racial bias all day. But when we turn it on them, now all of a sudden it's minority against minority and all those sorts of things. No. Because you know me as Elaine, where I'm going to pull up, when I see injustice, I'm going to pull it up no matter who you are, right? So I'm going to do the same thing for the South Asians. And all now they ain't answered my question yet.
Streets.
But in boycotting, that whole posing the question, obviously, is very disingenuous. That question.
Boycotting what?
When they said that, they were being very disingenuous.
You boycott what?
Well, again, the corporations.
You can't. You don't even know
the
the
thing
country.
is, I would love to.
What the hell?
No, I would love to. I would 100% love to. Obviously, you don't think I'm thingy, but I would be. I would rather separate. But there's that. But people ain't for that anyway. So, but I would love to. But again, in terms of when they have a Tesco, they're not specifically marketing to one person, are they?
Yeah.
Or there's just their people. There's a. But then again, they don't need to. They hold the institutions. They hold the institutions. So unless I'm trying to not go to a hospital, not try to call the police or whatever, they hold. If we're gonna boycott, then there's a lot of things we're gonna need to be boycotting. Then
call the police. So we've heard a lot about what you've been doing online, but I know that you're doing things behind the scenes strategically, right? Are you interested in looking to just share a little bit of that at this point in time, or just not right now?
I mean, what my main focus is for this year, right? Because I need to take baby steps and I don't want to get overwhelmed and, all of this pressure, trying to live up to certain expectations or whatever it is, because I make myself very clear. Don't expect me to be doing X, Y, and Z and you're not doing the damn thing. So I'll do it in my own time. But what I can say is I'm actually doing a web series where I go to Black businesses and I ask them questions about, okay, so why did you open up this business? Why did you pick the area? What is it that you're struggling with and how can I help? Because I feel like it's very important for our community to actually see what is going on in these Black businesses and why they price it the way they price it, what the struggles they go through, because a lot of people don't talk to a lot of people. So now I'm going to bridge that gap. Since you're not doing anything, now I'm going to bridge that gap, right? So I want to make our community see that this is the importance as to why you need to patronize these businesses, right? And if I can help in any way within my power, I don't have all the money in the world, but I'll pick up a paintbrush and, help you, redecorate or whatever it is that might, also as well, like identifying issues like marketing or stock control or branding or social media as an issue in your business, because I feel like those are the basics and we are terrible at those basics. So as long as I can make you see that, okay, maybe this is where you're going wrong with a fresh set of eyes, maybe this is where you're going wrong in your business, try this. I feel like that would be amazing work for me this year right now. And that's what I'm working on.
Come on.
Love it, love it, love it.
That's a fantastic solution I hear there. Active awareness amplification, and that is so powerful, especially seeing as you've built up your particular platform, shouting like Black Rob didn't want you to shout. You amass followers, you understand? So when it is that you now do your web series, that same platform that has all these particular people looking, whether they're haters or not, that's where you're putting it. That's what I'm talking about, a solution.
Yes, amazing. Unfortunately, we do have to wrap up the conversation. But hopefully you'll come back.
Listen, if you have me back.
Come on.
If you have me back.
Yeah, 100%. And hopefully you can subscribe and listen to us every day.
Of course I will.
I'm on. Guys, we do have to wrap up. We've got some reaction, so we can go into the reaction. I'll tell the people the scores and whatnot. So, you laughing at Arsenal? Alright, guys. Anyway, so the scores.
Crazy.
On Saturday. Arsenal lost at home to Bournemouth 2-1. Brentford drew at home with Everton 2-2. Liverpool beat Fulham 2-0. And Burnley lost at home to Brighton. And yesterday on Sunday, Crystal Palace beat Newcastle 2-1. Nottingham Forest drew with Aston Villa 1-1. Sunderland beat Tottenham 1-0. And Man City beat Chelsea 3-0. Brent, quickly, your thoughts?
Tanya says, when are we going to talk about your manager? To be honest, we could talk about it tomorrow. Yeah, we've exhausted everybody's bandwidth today. Progressive, mind you. Don't look to denigrate that. But tomorrow, we can have a little chin wag. Where were you yesterday when Woodsy came on and opened up the floor for anybody to share their grievances? Huh? But we will have a good dissection of our manager tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow.
Dope.
But yeah, it was an interesting weekend.
Yeah.
Tottenham is in the relegation zone.
Come on.
Joy. Man United won, didn't they?
No, they
Are they playing?
they're playing today, isn't it?
Who they
At
playing
8
against?
p.m. I don't even know.
Don't even know.
Isn't it Aston Villa?
Don't even know. Nah, it's not.
Okay.
You don't even know. Never mind.
So, yeah.
Black British values, we love it. Can't go wrong with football, can ya?
All right. So was there any boxing?
Yes, there was, man. Big fights, man. Tyson Fury, he obviously was the main event against Makhmudov, and he beat Makhmudov, basically won every round. It wasn't competitive.
So he went the distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
He went the distance. Conor Benn was fighting as well. Remember I was saying he fought against Regis Prograis, and he beat Regis Prograis, like I said as well. Prograis, he's done it.
Does that take away from his win?
No, I mean,
people were saying that. Why is your face cut?
What do you mean?
Conor Benn, why is your face cut? He's over the line or whatnot. He's has been. He's washed up. Is that true?
Well, Prograis,
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Oh, serious?
Prograis was a top fighter before.
Yeah.
Especially when he was fighting at 140. Was it? Yeah, 140. He fought people like Josh Taylor. Like, he's a top, like, world champion. Now he's basically at the end of his career. You know what I'm saying? So this was obviously just one of those where he moves up to, I think, 147 and just tries his best in it. It was meant to be a fight. Conor Benn was meant to win. And, yeah, Conor Benn, obviously, again, like, you have to give give props to anyone who steps in that ring, innit? But Conor Benn is not a world-class fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's calling for Garcia, isn't it?
Because he thinks he can win that against...
How would you do you think he?
No, Garcia will. No. And the thing is, Garcia is very sloppy as well. But Garcia is still world class. You know what I'm saying? And but to be fair to Conor Benn, this is probably the best time to be campaigning at 147. He can potentially win. He can potentially win a belt. But to be fair, that was more so when what's the guy that Garcia beat recently? I can't remember now. I can't remember his name. But yeah, he's not beating Garcia. He's not beating Garcia. Riakporhe fought as well. He beat TKV. Referee jumped in, stopped it. I think he stopped it early, but he stopped it round 5. And Justice Hooney, he beat Fraser Clark. I've not seen all of that. I only see like a few rounds of that in it. So yeah, I need to go back and watch that. But according to the scorecards, it was quite close, man. 96-94, 96-94, 95-95. So it's very close. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the boxing, guys.
All right. Wrap up, man.
Yes, indeed. So, as we said, guys, it's been a great episode. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself.
We started off this week well.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We have some other guests as well. Definitely tune in on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, we got the legendary Achaba Adai-Sebo. He's the one who introduced Black History Month in the UK.
Wow.
Yeah. He's here from Ghana, so he's going to be here on Wednesday. And we've got Jviko, who is basically a young black guy, part of the Green Party, campaigning.
For Hackney?
I think Brixton.
No, Brixton.
Was it Brixton?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. She's going to be here on a Thursday as well. And yeah, it's going to be good, man. It's going to be good.
Amazing.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a good one, guys. Again, Elaine, thank you for joining us. I'm saying, I hope you had a good time.
I did. I had an amazing time. But just shout out, if you want to see more of my content, please follow me on Instagram, TikTok. And also I have Elaine the Payne's Inner Circle, where we have inner discussions about what's going on. That's also in my bio.
Dope.
Come on.
Support guys.
Maggie says, is there a programming schedule for the Pulse? I know E-Man's show is a bit more fluid, but for other shows, it would be great to know. It would be great to know. I agree. Once everybody has given me their scheduling, that's when it is I could put this particular program schedule out. I cannot do it beforehand. It will be incessant switch. Yeah. Please bear with us. Please, Maggie, bear with us. Thank you very much. Love.
And yeah, everybody subscribe to Freedom is Capital as well. You know what I'm saying? We need to get black people into investing. I'm saying we need to stop wasting our money, leaving in bank accounts doing nothing. I'm saying we're getting poorer by the day because of decisions that the government's making. I'm saying let's invest in our futures. And yeah, man. Again, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back here tomorrow, 8:15, as you guys know, as usual. And yeah, man. Have a blessed rest of the day, guys.
All right. Make sure drink plenty water, mind your business, and be kind to others. And again, thank you very much, Elaine, for turning up today. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much, Christy. You were on form today.
Thank you.
Come on.
BOE for life.
Come on.
All right. Later.